The 2016 Heck Crichton Trophy winner Noah Picton, who led the Canada West in completion percentage and touchdowns with 19 during the regular year, but no touchdown passes last week in a loss to the UBC Thunderbirds. Also led the conference with 9 interceptions and going head-to-head with Michael O'Connor. And O'Connor coming off 3 touchdown performance in the win over the Rams last week here in Vancouver. He was 5th in touchdown throws with 14, but 7 in his last 3 games. And both quarterbacks have the benefit of throwing to the top receivers in the Canada West. Travell Pinto tied Mitchell Picton of the Rams with 53 catches, along with Nathan Rowe of Alberta. Pinto with a touchdown catch in all but 2 contests this year, and the T-Birds and Rams squaring off once again, and it's up next. Well, all week it was supposed to be cloudy here in Vancouver, but the snow is falling, but that hasn't stopped Regina Rams fans from coming on the road to cheer on their team. The first playoff game, and it's cool here as well on the West Coast, just above the freezing mark as we get set. And good afternoon, welcome to the Canada West Football Showcase. I'm Andy Neal. It's the second consecutive year that the UBC Thunderbirds are set to square off with the Regina Rams in the Hardy Cup semifinal. Only difference being this year is that the game's being played here in Vancouver. And remember, in week 1, the Thunderbirds lost to these Rams in Regina. However, UBC reeled off wins in 6 of their remaining 7 games to earn the second seed in the Canada West, and they punched a home playoff date in resounding fashion last week with a 44-15 win over the Rams here at David Sidhu Field. And the only thing standing in the way for the Thunderbirds, if they want to get to a Hardy Cup championship for the 3rd straight year, is a Rams team hoping to learn from last year's early playoff exit when they were the top seed in the Canada West but fell 40-34 at home to the Thunderbirds. But Regina had an up and down year. They finished 4-4, and that include losses in their final 2 games of the regular year. So for their thoughts on the 3rd meeting between these 2 teams, upstairs we go to the men calling it, Dan Blaster alongside Justin Dunk. Guys?
Thanks, Andy, and not quite the snow that we saw in Calgary earlier today, but still a wonderful day for football here in Vancouver. All-Stars dot this field, and we're going to take a look at 4 of them right now, beginning with maybe the biggest one of them all, the defending Heck Crichton Trophy Award winner in quarterback Noah Picton of the University of Regina Rams. Another fantastic season for the Rams, but has to bounce back from a difficult game that he had right here last week.
He really does. The Rams offense was only able to put up 15 points, and Noah Picton was taken out of that game in the 3rd quarter. UBC really covered down well and limited what Picton did outside of the pocket. As you can see, he can be elusive and also a quick strike quarterback. Has a strong arm, can get these big chunk yardage plays. Well, that's what UBC was able to limit last week. Picton looking to bounce back.
And he has a great weapon right beside him, and that's running back Atlee Simon. Another slow start to the season, but finished incredibly strong with just a shade over 900 yards rushing.
Those last 4 games for Simon were huge on the stat sheet. Over 100 in all of them. There was one with 200 as well. He's a CFL caliber back. Look at his lower body. He can cut, burst, that juke step. He's so elusive, but he's a guy that's really balanced out this offense that has been one-dimensional under Picton in years past.
So you have a CFL quality running back and quarterback on one side of the football, and on the UBC side, you have a CFL quality quarterback as well. May not get the attention that Noah Picton does, but Michael O'Connor is a fantastic quarterback, but a slow start to this season.
A little bit, and a lot of that was due to the offense. The new coordinator at UBC, Steve Barato, out, Paul Oriazetti in, so he was dealing with a new scheme, picking that up. He's really gotten comfortable as the season has gone along, according to head coach Blake Nill, and we saw that last week. 19-14, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, ultra efficient against the Rams a week ago, and he can sling it from the pocket, but he'll get out and do some damage too for a big fella at 6'5". He can move.
So enough of all those offensive guys. If you want some real entertainment, let's focus on the UBC defense and that man, Stavros Katsantonis.
Keep an eye on number 18 because he is going to be all over the field for UBC in the middle of the field at free safety. He knows how to find the football, and if you dare catch it in front of him, you better get down quick because he is coming to lay a licking.
He was named an All-Star again this year, 4 interceptions, so it's going to be a lot of fun on both sides of the football. Also fun on special teams. You know what? A little bit of a rivalry may be cooking. This is the 6th time in 2 years that these two teams have played. It's going to be fun.
Let's get it rolling.
All right, back down to Andy.
Dan and Justin, 1,800 kilometers separating these two schools, UBC and the U of R. And as you mentioned, no two teams have squared off more over the last 2 years than the Thunderbirds and the Rams. So it should be a dandy. The winner of this getting the winner of Alberta and Calgary playing in the other Hardy Cup semifinal. Regina won in week 1. UBC won last week in the final game of the regular season. So we'll see who gets the rubber match between the two in a date in the Hardy Cup Championship next week. The Canada West Football Showcase from Vancouver, the Rams and T-Birds on the other side of the break.
Welcome back, everybody. It is a not so balmy day here in Vancouver. A little bit of snow, and it's 2 degrees at Dave Sidhu Field here in Vancouver. Just a slight breeze, and it is the Regina Rams kicking off to start things off, and we get to see one of the All-Stars. Travell Pinto is one of the 2 men back to return this one. He was 2 All-Stars this year at receiver and at returner.
Pretty dynamic player. You probably will see Regina to try to keep the ball away from Pinto as much as possible in the kicking game.
And Maxwell's the other returner, and it is Pinto at his 10-yard line. He'll take it at the 5 to the 20, 25-yard line, and down he goes. And it'll be the UBC offense heading on to the field, led by Michael O'Connor. As we have a quick man down, is Michael O'Connor on one side of the ball, Noah Picton on the other side of the ball. Eerily similar stats. 19 touchdowns for Noah Picton and 14 for Michael O'Connor. As the man right now is Lane Hull. He's a solid linebacker for the Regina Rams, but that is your tail of the tape here, and it is Michael O'Connor getting his first chance here with the football.
And if you know what Blake Nill likes to do in big games, often he'll take a deep shot. So let's see what the T-Birds come out with here on the first snap of this Hardy Cup semi.
With Lane Hall out, Cole Benkick will come in and play linebacker in place of the 3-year starter for the Regina Rams. 3-man front, 1 man in the backfield. O'Connor with all kinds of times. He's flushed out and sacked on the first play of the game, and it's Nick Daly.
Who else but Nick Daly, who tied the school record for sacks in the season with 6.5. O'Connor very patient in the pocket here. It looked like they were looking to stretch this Rams defense down the field, but a miscommunication on the route from this vantage point.
So it brings up 2nd and long, almost 16 yards there. Is a loss of 6 or 7 on the sack for Nick Daly. Rams will line up 3 again, 1 man in the backfield. It's Cummings. Solid running back for the UBC Thunderbirds. O'Connor drops back, flag on the play, and it looks like the play clock went down.
Time count, UBC.
You got a senior quarterback there on your first drive.
Time count,
after
UBC,
a sack.
5-yard penalty.
Not the
Repeat
type
second
of
down.
start UBC wanted to get off to with the sack and then the game clock violation penalty.
It'll be 2nd and 22 for Michael O'Connor and the UBC Thunderbird offense on their first possession of this football game. It's the gift to Cummings, and he is buried right off the hop. And it is Wachowski with the tackle for loss.
Big number 96 bursting through the middle, and he dropped Cummings just as he took the football from O'Connor. Excellent defensive series from the Rams here. Pressure on first down, then it's the big fella. Swim move, see you later. I'm going to make the tackle in the backfield for a big loss to back UBC up yet again.
And that's an all-star, Levi Hua there at center that he did that dirty swim move on. Greg Hutchins is the punter, and he'll just sit down, and the Rams will get the first 2 points of the football game, and that's via their defense.
Much of the same start last week for the Rams. They went up 5-0 early in this game, or the game last week, so we'll see how they come out here today. It was a big second quarter from UBC, so the Rams need to sustain that, but a key series here for their defense against Michael O'Connor and the UBC offense.
So that Rams bench is pumped, and they're going to get a chance to receive the kickoff here with the 2-0 lead, but not a great start for that Thunderbird offense with the 2 tackles for a loss and the time count violation. Hutchins is the everything kicker for the UBC Thunderbirds. It was the Rams 6-2 last year hosting. This year it's the UBC Thunderbirds 6-2 hosting. I don't know if do you get sick of seeing a team this much, especially in football?
Probably just adds to the rivalry, to be honest, right? The Rams feel like their biggest rival these days is UBC because they've seen them so often.
2 men back for the Regina Rams. One will be Kyle Borsa, who set a couple of school records return-wise. He is number 22 for the Regina Rams. Waiting for the Hutchins kick here. And away it goes here at Dave Sidhu Field. Pops up in the air. And down it comes. It is Borsa just ragdolled at the 20-yard line looking for that edge. They tried to set something up on that return, but nothing going.
Yeah, the Rams looking for that wide side field return with number 22, but he's dropped for a loss. And if you look at the tail of the tape in this game, the differences lie on offense. It's fairly close, but the real difference is on defense. This UBC defense led the conference. They are the top defense overall in the Canada West.
And that honor usually ends up sticking with the University of Calgary Dinos, but it is the UBC Thunderbirds, and there's a over-the-top play, and it's caught! Big catch for the Regina Rams off the top. No, it's waved out of bounds. It was Mitch Picton looking for the catch.
Noah Picton looking for Mitch Picton on the corner route. Looked like the ball placement was just a little bit outside there, and actually that's close. Defensive back on the play did a good job. Number 3, Will Maxwell, a converted receiver, pushing Picton out of bounds, and that foot indeed was out, so no catch. Good call by the official.
Will Maxwell, Canada West All-Star. Noah Picton, he's taken down, and a sack for the UBC Thunderbirds. And leading the way is Isaiah Joseph. Great first-year player out of Hamilton. He had 3 sacks this year, tack 1 up in the playoffs.
Pressure just sliding along, scraping through there as he came on the blitz. Sure tackle on Noah Picton to get the elusive quarterback to the ground and forced a 2-and-out on the Rams' first possession.
So UBC deep in their end gave up a safety. The Rams now, will they do the same? That's always the question here when you play a little bit of the chess game that is here in playoff football. Hardy Cup semifinals. Scraper is the punter. He is going to punt the ball. He gets a real good kick off. It's Katsantanis on the return, and he tumbles at center field, and it looks like it's going to be no yards on the play, so it's going to be a 15-yard penalty against the Regina Rams.
So the safety that UBC gave up actually works out fairly well here. You give up the 2 points, but you get back in the plus side in terms of field position. Michael O'Connor and the UBC offense are going to start on the Rams side of center.
And one of the all-stars on that offensive side of things is Travell Pinto. He's an all-world offensive player.
He really is. Blake Nill told me before this game that he feels like Travell Pinto, when he comes out in the draft next year, could be a possible number 1 pick. He
UBC
is that dynamic, and we talked about it off the top. He was an all-star defensive back last year. This year, an all-star at returner and receiver. A guy that can have a massive impact on a football game, so you need to watch where number one is on every play.
And number one is on the right inside receiver's position, and they're looking to the right and wide open, and he's going to go in for the touchdown for UBC. Alex Morrison in for the score.
Well, we talked about UBC going to the big play right off the top, but O'Connor was sacked, so they come back to it on their second series. Morrison and Pinto working the short side of the field. A go route with a post. The attention goes to Pinto, and Morrison coming off a big game last week against the Rams with 2 touchdowns. Once again strikes for a big play. O'Connor right on the money. Morrison in stride, and that is a big time touchdown and an answer for UBC on their second possession.
A 60-yard touchdown for Morrison, and there's a 7-2 lead for the UBC Thunderbirds, so great momentum. Almost like that second quarter they had here last week.
Alex Morrison, a draft pick of the Montreal Alouettes, spent training camp with them. Blake Neal felt like he was a little frustrated coming back to UBC for his 5th and final year of eligibility because he didn't make the roster in Montreal. I actually talked to Alouettes GM Kavis Reed about Morrison and how they felt he's come along here since he's come back to UBC. The one thing he pointed out, and we saw it on that play, is he felt like Reed did, that Morrison has improved his burst off the line of scrimmage, and we saw it right there.
And with more, we'll send down to the field with Andy Neal.
All right, Alex Morrison, we know UBC likes to strike with big plays early in big games. What happened there?
We just had 2 seams. Mike made a great read, able to put it on me, and was able to take it from there.
Regina got to you in the first series that you had with plays that caused for losses. What was the talk on the sideline leading up to that drive there?
We just had to do what we know we can, you know. They're going to make plays. They're a good team, but we just can't make mistakes. If we do what we can, I'm pretty confident in our abilities.
Congrats on the catch. All the best.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Andy. And Morrison's 7th touchdown of the year, first of the Hardy Cup playoffs, and that was Kyle Borsa in on the return. Ram record holder now as a freshman out of Michael A. Riffle in Regina. He pretty much did all the returning for the Rams. And now the Rams pinned deep again. They're going to start things off at their own 22-yard line. Noah Picton had a tough game last week here at Dave Sidhu Field. See what he can do with Simon flushed out of the backfield. T-Birds rush 3. It's quick pitch, catch, and that's all the Rams have to do to be successful. It's Kyle Mortgat with the reception.
Picton, quick pass on the slant route to Mortgat, sets him up in a second and medium situation. Already looking better in that first offensive drive for the Rams.
Not quite the quick strike offense that the UBC Thunderbirds had, but there is Mortgat with the reception. He had a solid season for the Rams with 408 yards on 37 catches. That was his first catch of this game. Second and manageable for the Rams. Picton, happy feet, rolls. He's going to look to the near side, and it's almost caught, but a nice knockdown on the play by the UBC Thunderbird defense as they were able to step up, and Peyton LaGrange with the knockdown.
Peyton LaGrange, a first-year player, scrappy kid, wasn't highly recruited because a lot of people thought he was too small to play at this level. But Pat Tracy, the defensive coordinator, absolutely loves this kid. Ball skills key, and we saw it right there.
Out of the Notre Dame Athletic Academy in Red Deer. Not sure if Gino Castellan's the coach there anymore or not, but it was a big program in central Alberta. Now the Rams are going to have to punt here again. Pinto will be the lone returner for the UBC Thunderbirds. Actually a little bit of a stagger. Katsantanis at the 55-yard line. Scraper's the punter. Thunderbirds had a little bit of a rush, and the Rams have all kinds of white jerseys down there, and they get to Pinto, and he's down at the UBC 50-yard line, but fantastic field position again for the T-Birds.
Once again, the Rams go 2-and-out, punt the football back. So even though the Thunderbirds put those 2 points on the board with the safety, Dan, it looks like a great decision because they come back with the quick strike touchdown, and again, in plus field position to start that drive, or this drive.
Connor now for the third drive here for the Thunderbirds. They went backwards on the first drive, and they went very forwards on the second drive. It was very quickly. A one-play strike to Morrison was the last drive for the Thunderbirds. Cummings in the backfield. Cummings gets the football. He breaks one tackle and runs into the arms of a Rand linebacker, and that is the veteran fifth-year player, Zach McEachern, with the tackle.
And Cummings was really the guy that got the UBC offense going last week, right? They were stalling out the gate. They didn't score any points in the first quarter, and it was Cummings that ripped off a couple big runs and some consistent running in the second quarter that helped them roll off 35 and really get going.
Zach McEachern is in his 5th year. He's out of Calgary, former Calgary Colt. And it's interesting on both sides, both teams, they do love using the junior programs to fill out their rosters, and we'll make mention to that. Of course, the Canadian Bowl around the corner for the supremacy in Canadian junior football, but this is the supremacy for the Canada West in the Hardy Cup playoffs. It is O'Connor dropping back. He's looking left. A flag is down, and a knockdown on the far side. And that is a big play by a man that was hurt on the opening kickoff in Lane Hall.
Lane Hall getting out and showing his coverage ability and ball skills in the flat. Red O'Connor, what he was doing in the pocket, makes an aggressive play, knocks it down, and gets that UBC offense off the field.
UBC has a pair of tune-outs and a...
Holding. UBC 62. That penalty is declined. 3rd down.
And a one-play touchdown drive, so feast or famine for the Thunderbird offense. Borsa the lone returner again for the University of Regina Rams. Borsa set a Rams record with 31 punt returns. Averaging less than 10 yards a return, but great coverage skills across the Canada West, and a wobbly punt that Borsa does not camp under. Is now he finally will. No flag on the play. And with a little bit of a break here, let's head down to the field with Andy Neal.
All right, thanks very much, guys. This isn't the only Hardy Cup semifinal. That's a rematch from Week 8. Also, Alberta and Calgary. Remember, the Golden Bears stunned the Dinos with a 53-3 win to close out the regular year and qualify for the playoffs for the first time since 2010. But the Calgary Dinos continue this unprecedented run of Hardy Cup championship appearances, winning today 39-22. So they will host the Hardy Cup championship, the 81st edition, next week. It was a close game in the second half. The game was tied at 16 in the third, with Calgary pulling away with a 17-point victory over the Golden Bears today, guys.
There's Katsantonis with the great tackle of Atlee Simon, and that's quite the swing in that UBC Calgary series. That was a 67-point swing from week to week, but a great play by Katsantonis.
Certainly, just when it looked like Simon had the edge and was maybe going to break a big one there, Katsantonis, Johnny on the spot.
2nd and 8 for the Regina Rams. They're looking to not go 2 and out for the 3rd straight time. And Picton, he avoids a couple of tacklers and he's sacked again. The 2nd sack of the game for UBC. And that's a great coverage sack for the Thunderbirds.
It really is, and what the key here early has been for the Thunderbirds has been containing Picton in the pocket. They have not lost leverage and allowed him to get to the edge and buy more time. They're really affecting Picton in a smart way in doing that, keeping him in the pocket and lots of pass rushers getting at him and getting him to the turf.
It was Joseph with the original pressure, then Connor Griffiths, who had 2 sacks last week against the Regina Rams. A little bit of a cleanup on that one. Scraper again. He's already punting for the 3rd time, and we're only 7 minutes into this one. He gets another good one off. It's Katsantonis at his 50 to the 55, and down he goes. And this is turning into a broken record here. Great field position for UBC.
He's got to capitalize on it, though. They did it once before. Last time went 2 and out. Now their opportunity here, plus field position to start.
Scraper had a tough year punting the football, but he's had a solid game so far in what can be sometimes difficult conditions here in Vancouver.
Yeah, he's done a good job. Had a few booming punts to help out his defense.
As you see, the head coach of the UBC Thunderbirds, Blake Nill, he is no stranger to these Canada West Hardy Cup semifinals. O'Connor all kinds of time, finally gets rid of it, and it's a great catch. Are they going to call it a catch? They do. Fantastic catch by UBC's Trey Kellogg.
Kellogg coming across the middle. O'Connor patient in the pocket until he opened up, delivered a back shoulder ball, and Kellogg slips but still makes the grab. Great concentration there.
Trey Kellogg, in his 2nd year out of Doonton, Alberta, had to make up for a very battered UBC receiving core. Cummings to the left of O'Connor. O'Connor will throw to his right. It's Pinto with the catch. Pinto crosses the line of scrimmage. He has 20 yards on the pitch and catch and a first down for UBC.
Pinto obviously has the speed to make these type of receiver screen plays work, but check out the blocking in front of him. 2 excellent cut blocks from the receivers to give him room and pick up an easy first down to move the chains. Pinto wide open in the flats, and there you see 1 defender, 2 defenders on the ground for the Rams. Great job stock blocking, get those guys to the turf.
You know you're buying in when your receivers are blocking that much upfield. You see that a lot with the Calgary Stampeders. That's why they're so successful, is because their receivers love to block. Cummings flushes out to his right. It's O'Connor hit as he throws. He hits Cummings, and he goes out of bounds, but O'Connor was drilled on the play.
And guess who? Number 99, Nick Daly, laying another lick on the quarterback. He had a sack earlier in O'Connor's face again, but O'Connor, calm under pressure, delivers a perfect ball to Cummings out of the backfield, and they move the chains again.
First and goal now for the Thunderbirds, threatening to go up 14-2 here on the Regina Rams. They're at the Ram 4-yard line. Let's see if we're going to see some dirty football now and just pound it in from short yardage. It is Cummings. Almost O'Connor in a pseudo pistol formation. Cummings goes to his right. Play fake. O'Connor rolls right, and it's a touchdown, UBC. And it is Alex Morrison back-to-back for the Thunderbirds.
Play action here to Cummings. Great ball work by O'Connor, and then Morrison coming back, little mini comeback route there on the sideline. O'Connor puts it only where his receiver can get it, and Morrison, a sure grab, gets the feet down in bounds. And Morrison, 2 TDs already on the day. He had 2 TDs last week. It appears like he likes playing this Regina Rams defense.
This offensive juggernaut that is the UBC Thunderbirds continues to roll along here. They have a huge 14-2 lead very, very early in this football game. And let's look again. Great play fake.
All kinds of time.
We have a promotional timeout. Promotional timeout. 1 minute and a half.
To Morrison there along the sideline.
As that was Morrison with the catch. So now, if you're the UBC Thunderbirds, you just keep the foot on the gas. But what do you do if you're the Regina Rams?
Well, Regina's got to get something going on offense. We saw the first play of the game from Regina. Noah Picton looking to hit Mitchell Picton on a corner route. I really think they need to try to get Mitchell Picton a lot of targets, and especially try to feed him the ball here on this series. They need to get a first down. They've gone 2 and out on all of their drives so far this game, and that's why they've been fighting the field position after UBC gave up that early safety.
With more down to field level and Andy Neal.
All right, thanks very much, Dan. Michael O'Connor, I saw the hand warmer come in. I wanted to ask about the conditions and how you're trying to keep your hands to be able to grip the ball today.
Yeah, it's not raining, but ball's a little slick because the turf is wet. But yeah, no problem.
Back-to-back drives with touchdown scores, both through the air. Tell us about the touchdown pass again to Morrison.
Oh, he just ran a great route, and you know he's a big-time receiver. He makes big-time plays in big-time games, and use a 6'5" frame, and you know it's just easy throwing to him.
You're so familiar with Regina. 6 meetings in the last 2 seasons as well. Is there anything left to hide against them coming into today?
No. I mean, the playbook's open, and you know we just got to keep on them, and we gotta keep going in this first quarter and get another one.
Good start so far. All the best.
Thank you,
guys.
Thanks, Andy. And now the Rams need to have a big game from that man and Atlee Simon to get off the schneid here in Vancouver.
Certainly, they need to put a couple first downs together here at least, if not get some points on this drive.
And Borsa goes forwards and then goes incredibly backwards on the play on the return. And again, it is the Rams just on the other side of their own 20-yard line. They haven't seen beyond that here so far in this football game.
It's been a tough start for this Rams offense, and credit the UBC cover teams. They've really done a good job staying in their lanes, not allowing much in the return game, whether they've gone to the short side or the wide side.
It is Picton. Simon beside him. Simon with the run, and he busts some tackles. He has some room, and he gets to the 47-yard line of the Regina Rams, and that's what they needed, a 22-yard play.
And Simon just off tackle here, bursting through the first level. You can see the kind of ability he has when he hits the hole and gets through there. That looked like a big-time cut and a key first down for the Rams to move the chains for the first time in this game.
And leading the way on that side was the center, Ro Borkman. You do it once, do it again. We'll give it to Simon again. He makes a couple of cuts and he rolls for about 6 or 7 yards. There's about 3 or 4 jump cuts on that one.
There was Simon getting a feel maybe here early on. He got a couple carries for some short gains on the first couple series, but here he gets the rock on back-to-back plays, a little backside cut, and then he bounced it back into the middle. Almost lost football there, but his knee was down.
Against the University of Calgary in their final home game, this is what was successful after they went down big to the Dinos in the first quarter. Second and short for the Rams. Picton goes and he just misses his target again. Picton's been all out of sorts here in Vancouver. And again, it was looking for Shinbine on the other side.
Picton just off a little bit on that play. It would have been a first down. Just the ball placement made that a tough catch for Shinbine, a little behind him.
But they're able to get the ball forward a little bit, you know, try to gain a little bit of position. So if there's such things as small battle wins, that might be one of them.
Certainly, and that Simon run was key, breaking off a chunk. Now at least they're punting from midfield, can try to get back in the field position game in their favor.
It is Scraper, the punter for the Regina Rams. And he does the running rugby punt, and it's a nice punt off the right foot. Looking for any sort of room, and it was a nice tackle on the play. There is a flag down, but solid coverage on the Regina Rams. As that was Caden Jones with the tackle.
To me, that actually looked like it was Atlee Simon that was punting.
They do say Atlee can...
No yards.
Indeed
Regina
it
number
was.
12. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So showing a little bit of a different look there on punt team for the Rams. It almost looked like it was going to be a fake if Simon felt like he could get the first down, but does execute the running punt fairly well.
And that was something, a rumor we heard even a few weeks ago when the Rams were playing the University of Manitoba, that Simon was going to do some of the punting. That's offside on the Regina Rams, so a free play for the Thunderbirds. It is caught by Morrison on that far side, but I think they're going to take the first and 5 here.
Certainly offside there. Jumped a little bit early, trying to anticipate the snap count. The big fella in the middle looked like it was number 90, Ryan Warner, getting off a little early. When you're that big and you get moving, it's hard to stop it.
And hard to miss you, too. So
Offside. Regina number 90. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
one of the 24 Leopoldus Golden Sun players on this Regina Ram team. The 4-time provincial champ lost actually in the city final in Regina to Regina Campbell. So
they were going for their 6th straight.
They're
right?
going, yeah. So that title reign is over in Saskatchewan, but still lots of representation on this Regina Ram club. O'Connor all kinds of time, just pitches and catches, and that is an easy first down. That's Alex Morrison with his 3rd catch, but first catch not getting a touchdown.
Used to being in the end zone at least today when he's caught the O'Connor pass, but O'Connor and Morrison seem to really be on the same page here early. A little pitch and catch and release from O'Connor quickly on a little hook route on the sideline for the first down.
If you're that relaxed in the pocket, it's going to be a long day for that Ram offense, or sorry, for the Ram defense. O'Connor again, and he's going to go deep to the wide side, up, and a great catch again. These guys are going up and getting it for the UBC Thunderbirds.
Nick Richard going up and getting it on the wide side of the field. O'Connor saw him open early and put it out there, and credit that wide side receiver going up, attacking the football, making sure he was going to come down with it. Great play.
So the Thunderbirds again in Ram territory. There's a play fake to Cummings, and there's an easy catch for Morrison. They've done that a few times. That's the third time they've gone to Morrison on that quick pitch and catch.
Yeah, similar type of play action, and then find Morrison. That time was on a little flat route. O'Connor probably would have liked to get that ball out in front of him because Morrison had some room to run there, but O'Connor very poised here early on, looks comfortable as he's picking apart this Rams D.
O'Connor, who learned under the tutelage of Chris Wenke at the IMG Academy. Wenke, the former Florida State Seminole quarterback. 2nd and 6 for UBC. Rams send blitz. O'Connor just gets rid of the football. There's nobody in the area. If I was a Ram coach, I'd be looking for, and there it is. There's the intentional grounding flag. So a well-timed blitz by that Ram defense.
And Nick Cross coming off the edge, delivering the hit on O'Connor, and that's the right call on that play. There was not a receiver in that area. The pressure forced O'Connor to get rid of it way quicker than he wanted to, and that draws the flag.
So the Rams defense steps up again.
Intentional grounding, UBC number 16. Spot of the foul, 3rd down.
I hope he meant 15. That would be
probably did.
Yeah, that would be Michael O'Connor. Because Peyton LaGrange is a solid defensive back for the UBC Thunderbirds. So again, Kyle Borsa will track back and pick up this Greg Hutchins punt. Borsa in his first year, you go through both of these lineups, there is a lot of ones beside a lot of these names.
A couple of young teams, lots of rising talent.
That is a great punt. Borsa in the corner, he has nowhere to go as he'll just ride out the tackle of Michael Spencer.
Hutchins, great angled kick there right along the sideline, makes it easy for his cover team and leaves essentially no room for Borsa on the return.
The Rams offense desperately needs to pick up some points here in this first quarter. I think their defense desperately needs their offense to hold on to the football for an extended amount of time, because if this keeps on going, it's going to be a long day for this Ram defense.
Well, the Ram defense outscoring the offense right now, 2-0.
So take that, Ram offense, and they're going to go with their big package, dual tight end. Simon will try to cut it to the outside. He's buried. That's a tackle for a loss for the UBC Thunderbirds.
So that was a package that the Rams showed a lot last week. Their big package, bringing in the tight ends. So this week, look for some play action off of that look, some different types of sets off of it and plays off of it, because they felt like UBC was going to scheme for that double tight end package. So keep an eye here on what the Rams do when they go to those double tights next time. Cleaning
up on the tackle is the big first-year linebacker, Ben Laddick. Thunderbirds rush 4. Rams go deep. They have a man. It's caught. It's Shinbine. He has more room. It's a huge play for the Rams, and he's finally taken down at the 20-yard line, and that will cure a lot of the offensive woes. But there's a flag all the way back, and it's going against the Rams.
Just when it looked like the Rams were going to climb out of a big hole, and Picton did a great job of looking off the safety.
Killing a block. Hands
there
to the
to
face.
drop it into Shinbine.
Regina number 64. Feet first.
2nd down.
But a hands to the face penalty is going to bring it all the way back. Shinbine with a big play that will go for naught.
Now we get to see the resolve of the Regina Ram offense, because all the momentum went to their side and it was taken out just as quickly with the hands to the face penalty. Let's see if we can get a look at it. It's 64, Vecchio the center, and yeah, he got it right in the face of the defensive tackle.
Connor Griffiths there battling with the big center Vecchio. Good call by the officials, but man, that one stings if you're the Rams.
So it goes from 1st and 10 at the UBC 20 to 2nd and 18 at the Rams' own 6-yard line. Picton with time. He has to escape the pressure. He'll roll to his right. He's finally taken down it again. It's Ben Laddick, and that is a sack on the play. And that's the 3rd time Picton has gone down because of a sack.
It looked like Picton was looking at Shinbine across the middle because he sprung open, but the timing of the release just wasn't there, and he had to shuffle his feet just before he probably wanted to let it go, and then Laddick tracks him down. That's a great job by the young linebacker to get Picton down to the ground.
Scraper in his own end zone will definitely sit on the 2 to put the Thunderbirds up 16-2 in a big first quarter here for UBC. They're just going to let time tick down and let a merciful first quarter come to an end, and Scraper just grabs it and sits on it. And with that, it is a 16-2 lead for UBC, and all that momentum from last week carries on into this week.
It really has, and the UBC defense has been the main factor here in this game. They've given the offense some field position, and they've done a great job of covering down on these receivers and making sure Noah Picton has not been able to get out to the edge. You'll notice every time he's tried to escape, it's been up the middle, back into the defense. So the Thunderbirds have funneled him up inside every single time he's tried to escape and buy time.
Let's see if this is a momentum swing the Rams need. This, what helped the UBC Thunderbirds is when they gave up their safety and the field position flipped. But you also have to remember this UBC kickoff return team has returns of 96 yards, 57 yards, and 58 yards. So this is a very strong kickoff return team. That's Maxwell with a 96-yarder. Travell Pinto's longest return is 57 yards, and Katsatanis has a 58-yard kickoff return. And there's a squib kick right into the wickets of a reserve player, Liam Mahura of the UBC Thunderbirds. This is what I saw last week. Not quite along the ground, but it was a pop kickoff by the UBS Huskies. They were up 22-0. It was a pop kickoff. Manitoba grabbed it in the air at the 40, took it the other way, and that was the momentum the Alberta Golden Bears needed on the other side of things to get into the playoffs. So
changed the complexion of that game completely.
That it did, but this one gives UBC incredible field position at their own 42-yard line, and a little read option there, and it is Cummings, all kinds of room, and he picks up 12 on the play. That's just an old school option play.
Yeah, a little different look from this UBC offense as they add a wrinkle in here that we didn't see, especially last week against this Rams defense. O'Connor does a great job of drawing the defender in to make sure that his running back had a free lane. Flips it to Cummings, makes a little slip, shows you the wiggle, near a first down.
Well, they're not going to give him the first down right away. It sure looks like it from, well, we're right down Broadway here. We have probably the best look at it in the house. I would say
I'm going to say it's a first down.
Oh, yeah. Easy first down for UBC.
And we're way up off the field. We're not down on the field like the officials.
No. There it is. There's the first down on the option play.
If they need help, just
we got it. We got it, guys. So 1st and 10 to finish off the first quarter for the UBC Thunderbirds. A pair of touchdowns by Alex Morrison so far is the difference. One a 60-yard pitch and catch, and one a short little dig on the near sidelines. O'Connor with Cummings to his left. Quick little play fake. O'Connor with time. He's going to look to Morrison, and just out of his hands as they were looking to their big target to finish off this first quarter. I say he was a big target in this first quarter because Maxwell had a pair of touchdowns as the UBC Thunderbirds. They lead the Regina Rams 16-2. As there you see Maxwell with the first touchdown of the game, as it is UBC with the hometown lead. You're watching the Hardy Cup playoffs on the Canada West Football Showcase.
Say that to be successful in
Dan, you cool?
university, you must
Good?
work hard.
Close all right?
This is true. But to be successful in life, you'll need to know more than what's written in a textbook. You'll need to know how to adapt and to problem solve. You'll need to know how to work with all kinds of people, how to listen, and how to be a team player. To be truly successful in life, to find happiness, you need to find balance.
Back at Thunderbird Stadium, 16-2 the lead for the Thunderbirds over the Regina Rams, getting set for the second quarter. And Rams head coach Stephen Bryce said the focus for his team this week wasn't retribution for the semifinal loss last year to the Thunderbirds, but discipline. Regina led the conference in penalties this season, and they also surrendered over 1,100 yards because of penalties. No other team in the Canada West surrendered more than 1,000. And he said one of the big keys is playing hard from the snap of the ball to the whistle and then turning things off. 3 18-year-olds on the defensive side of the ball, and he said 15-yard penalties really hurt them during the season, but he said one of the things that they focus to is it's a fresh start with the playoffs. Everybody is 0-0 going into this Hardy Cup semifinal, but you saw a penalty late in that first quarter take away the big play from Brian Shinbein that cost the Rams an opportunity to put some points on the board. So they're trailing by 14. UBC with the ball. Back upstairs, Dan Plaster and Justin Dunk, guys.
Thanks, Andy. And Coach Bryce also said they had some of their best practices of the year in this week, leading up to a back-to-back showdown with the UBC Thunderbirds. But we talked about a battle of the quarterbacks. Hasn't really been a battle so far in this football game.
A one-sided affair, certainly. O'Connor, 8 of 10 for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns in the first quarter. Picton, 1 of 4 for 5 yards. So I would say off those stats, the Rams are fortunate to only be down 16-2.
The old sports cliche, there's lots of time left in this football game, but the Rams have to step up and do something now, with O'Connor leading a very stout UBC Thunderbird offense. Connor with a hard start. Rams will rush 3. That means O'Connor with all kinds of time. He'll look over the middle, and it's a great pitch and catch. They keep on rolling. It's Trey Kellogg on the other end.
O'Connor's so patient in the pocket, and it helps when your offensive line gives you time like this. And Kellogg has all day to get open on this route. Ends up turning into a deep post, and O'Connor putting it on a line for Kellogg to go and get it.
Diego El Torre on the left tackle. Blake Picard at the left guard. Levi Hua, the Canada West All-Star at center. Vikram Varpool at the right guard, and another Canada West All-Star in Dakota Shepley at right tackle, protecting their quarterback and leading the way for big yardage for Ben Cummings, who picks up the first down on a run between the tackles.
This offensive line really starting to impose their will on this Rams defensive front. We saw the time on the last play for O'Connor. Here we see them get a good surge blowing off the ball, and O'Connor didn't get touched until he was already in the second level of the defense. A blue-collar type of running back Blake Neal describes him as, and we see it there. He's getting his jersey pulled, doesn't care, leaning forward, falling forward for extra yardage.
Not quite the thickness of Ed Ilnicki, about the same height at 5'9", 185 for Ben Cummings at a Robert Bateman secondary in Abbotsford. 1st and 10 again for UBC. Play fake to Cummings. Over the middle, easy touchdown, Travell Pinto for the Thunderbirds.
That's one man that you need to account for, and he was absolutely wide open off of play action, blown coverage from the Rams, and O'Connor just needs to lay it out there. A bit of a wobbler, but it doesn't matter because it's on the money, and Pinto literally has no one around him. That needs to change for the Rams, and there's the old salute from Pinto. He knows this offense is rolling.
Pinto had 5 touchdowns receiving to go along with his 717 yards through the air. They really needed him this year with Marcus Davis, Will Watson, and then J.J. Delorier also went down late in the year. A very good receiving core with 3 veterans out of the lineup.
Yeah, and Marcus Davis might be the most talented of the entire group. Now, some might argue Pinto, but Davis is an outstanding athlete, but Pinto getting it done here, wide open down the seam. O'Connor just playing pitch and catch with his number 1 receiver.
You can't forget Alex Morrison, who has the big catch. Morrison had that 93-yard reception earlier in the year. He's their big play guy. He's also their biggest receiver at 6'4", 220. He's that old school CFL type. You mentioned him and the Alouettes. He is that old school style slot back that I think Montreal likes.
Really, he is, and he's got the speed, too, that it makes him different in sort of new age in terms of playing in that slot. And we've seen UBC use him exclusively at wideout in this game so far.
And boy, Montreal could use him with an aging receiving core with Nick Lewis. And there's a big opening for the Rams. It's Borsa with the straight arm, and that is Borsa's one of his best kick returns of the season, and he needed it. And the Rams needed it at that time to set up the offense on the 40-yard line.
And Borsa hitting the hole on the wide field return, putting the stiff arm on the defender, saying, getting off me, lowering the shoulder, and then check this out. Flipping the football. He knows that was a big play, and it was for the Rams because this is their best starting field position of the day, and Noah Picton needs a drive for points right here, right now.
And he gets it from a first-year returner running back in Borsa. So they'll give it to Simon, the veteran running back. He tries to hop over the tackle of Laddick, but Laddick has nothing of it, but still a pretty good pickup for Simon of 9 yards.
Yeah, Simon patiently picking his way through that UBC defense, going to put the Rams offense in a second and short-ish situation, open up the playbook wide here for Picton.
And since that 58-55 win over the University of Alberta in overtime, the offense has had a hard time getting going. They had a hard time against Calgary getting going, but man, they could just do that all day, as that is a 7-yard first down run for Atlee Simon. And with more from the touchdown for the UBC Thunderbirds, here's Andy Neal.
All right, thanks very much, Dan. Travell Pinto on the receiving end of that latest touchdown catch. What do you think? 23-2 here in the second quarter.
The offense is doing a good job starting off strong. We've had trouble with that like all year. Coach has been like just preaching for us to like just get off to a good start, and that's what we're doing here today. And we're just going to keep the pedal on the metal. We're making sure we don't let up.
What about the play from the defense to allow offense to get on the field right away and keep the momentum going?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
The defense, UBC's being able to allow the offense to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, our defense is doing a great job. They've been shutting them down all day, and our defensive coordinator, Coach Tracy, he's doing an amazing job with them, and they're all executing their jobs perfectly, and they're putting us in a great position right now.
Congrats on the catch.
Thank you very much.
All right, and third game in the last 4, guys, that Michael O'Connor has a 3-touchdown performance.
And it is that man, Noah Picton, finally getting this offense going. That was Brady Urich mentioning his name. Wasn't supposed to be in the lineup, but Mitch Thompson out. He was supposed to be in that lineup, but a big first down catch for Urich, and Simon with a 3-yard pickup on first down.
Simon cutting back to the strong side of the field. He was forced there and chased by number 90, Elliott Graham, as UBC able to hold him to a short gain. Second and long situation for Picton.
Strong outside linebackers here for UBC to really keep contained, but tough injury here. It's Syed Hussein Ali on the field right now for UBC. You see the snow here. That's I'm a Western kid. I was born in this area, but I didn't spend much time. This is something you don't see much out here, especially this early.
Yeah, unusual to see. When I touched down here, I asked the local, I said, is this normal for snow to be here this early? He said it was the earliest he's ever seen his entire life here. Now, he's a younger fella, but still, the snow coming down earlier, I would rather snow than rain, though.
Me too. I would too, but you heard Andy talk to Michael O'Connor about if the snow was better. He says, no, the football's still pretty slick. As Hussein Ali is needing an escort off the field. The nose tackle for the UBC Thunderbirds out of Burnaby in Centennial Secondary. He's in his first season, so another one of the many ones on that UBC defense. Big second down and long for the Rams. Picton with time. Easy pitch, catch, first down. And that is what the Rams needed, is Atlee Simon, who is solid out of the backfield.
He really is a versatile running back, can easily split out as a slot or wide out, as the Rams use him in many situations. Right there, wide open in the flats on the out route. Picton finds him easily to move the chains. The Rams finding a rhythm here on offense on this drive.
And using who we mentioned in the opener, and that is Atlee Simon. A little bit running, and they're going to do it this time, but the Thunderbirds will have nothing of it as he picks up maybe 1 yard on the play. try to see who scraped along the line to pick up the tackle for the UBC Thunderbirds. And it's Laddick again having himself a game.
Yeah, Laddick shot the backside gap there and chased the play down. There was actually some room there in the hole if Simon would have pressed it a little quicker, but Laddick showing his speed.
6'4", 255 out of Vernon Secondary here in BC. They'll send the house here, but Picton with time, Picton to the end zone, looking for Mitch, and it's almost intercepted. Man, what a hand fight there as Mitch Picton looking for the flag.
Will Maxwell there on the coverage, lots of contact. Picton indeed asking the ref, where's the laundry? He doesn't get it on the play. Been a lot of talk in the Canada West Conference about home field officiating and an advantage in that way, and Picton was battling there, although I feel like the defensive back should have a right to the football as well. He's attacking it, got his head around, and that was a fair fight in my opinion. The defensive back, Maxwell, didn't do much to hinder Picton, but have good coverage.
I think a lot of people see how the CFL has been called the last 2 years, but if you watch a lot of American football, that's commonplace. So that is kind of the thing that you like to see is Scraper in on for the field goal, and the Rams get some big points here, and that was a big drive. Even though it was only 3, it is still a big drive for that Regina Ram offense.
It really was. They were stagnant for that entire first quarter. So to come out here in the second quarter, their first position, get a possession of the quarter, get a field goal, Picton in a little bit of a rhythm. Rams have some momentum on offense, much needed. The defense needs a big stop here, get it right back to Picton.
More yards on that drive than they had on the whole first quarter as a whole. So that is the kind of hole that they found themselves in. And O'Connor, the third-year pivot, made his way all the way out west here to play for the UBC Thunderbirds. Already has a Vanier Cup under his belt. Looking to make it back to the Hardy Cup finals here for the third year. He'll drop back as the Rams send 3. Nifty little shovel pass to Cummings, but it's sniffed out by the Regina Rams. Nick Cross takes out what could have been a potential big gain for the UBC Thunderbirds.
Another different look here from the T-Birds offense. The shovel pass, Cummings looks like he was in pass pro, then shuffles back underneath, but whoo! That looked like it was Nick Cross, the outstanding freshman, coming across to make a sure tackle on Cummings.
That's Canada West All-Star Nick Cross in his first year. One of the top recruits in Canada decided to stay home. Rams send the blitz. And it's just in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Nick Richard. He thought of running before catching the football.
Now, Richard was taking a little peek at the defender. I think he thought a hit was coming, trying to see where he was, and then didn't quite hang on to the football. You know he's going to want that one back. O'Connor delivered that one right on the money. Should have been a first down.
And usually a smart quarterback, who is he going to go to first? He'll go right to Richard just to get him into that rhythm. So here's something you haven't seen much of. This is the UBC Thunderbirds punting. Greg Hutchins for the first time in this quarter. He's going to run. He has all kinds of room. Can he get the first down? Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to depend on the spot. Are they going to give him the first down? It depends if they mark it with the left foot or the right foot. And yep, they give them the first down and a well-timed fake punt by the UBC Thunderbirds.
Hutchins getting that first down by about the length of the football or less. The kicker showing a little athleticism, getting to the edge.
6'3", 205 out of Bedford, Nova Scotia. Greg Hutchins extending the drive for the UBC Thunderbirds. So O'Connor and the UBC offense has 1st and 10. Play fake to Cummings. O'Connor again with time. He'll have to step up over the middle. It's almost intercepted. Great play in the middle, and it's Nick Cross again for the Rams.
Of course it is, and he came from the strong side of the field, read Michael O'Connor's eyes, who let this football go way too late. Pinto was open much earlier on the play, and check out Cross, flashing at the last second, coming across the field. What an athletic play, heady play, and I thought he had a pick there, but credit Pinto for breaking that one up. He quickly turned to defensive back where he was an all-star in 2016.
And that is going to be, oh, the referee was going to throw the flag, but getting back on side as the Rams are going to send the house here. Good pickup of the blitz, quickly in and out of the hands, and Pinto drops the football, but he was getting bared down on by the Regina Rams' Taylor Mayer, and O'Connor takes another lick.
Slant route, O'Connor to Pinto. Little high, kind of behind Pinto there, and Mayer putting a lick on him, make sure that first down doesn't happen. And of course, again, Nick Cross has been all over the football field on this series, laying a shot on O'Connor there.
We were talking about Katsantonis exciting on defense. I was excited to see Nick Cross, also excited to see Isaiah Joseph, another first-year linebacker. Hutchins decides not to run this time. It's a wobbly punt that sticks down, and Borsa will just go right up the middle. He'll pick up the new yards. And is buried on the play, but not bad field position for this Ram offense, but a big stop by their defense.
Certainly. When you consider it looked like they were going to be off the field in a 2 and out, but then Hutchins on the fake gets the first down, you felt like that might be a backbreaker for that Rams defense, but they don't let it bother them. They come back with 2 big plays. Nick Cross with the knockdown on Pinto, and then he hits O'Connor to force.
We're going to take a promotional timeout.
Punt
Officials
there, that
timeout.
Keeping us informed here.
Yeah, Blake Neal not happy on the sideline with his troops. He is
No yards.
very hard
UBC number
on
27.
his players, and
5-yard
I'm
penalty.
sure he felt like
First down.
in that situation that the offense could have stayed on the field.
Last time I saw UBC was week 1 in a Regina Ram win, 36-20, and it was a Michael O'Connor that was pulled, and he was replaced by Cole Meyer in that game. They fed Meyer to the Wolves because Meyer was sacked and then threw a pick 6 on that play when he was put in. And we take a look at the rest of U Sports football and some interesting scores on that scoreboard.
And tight game out east. St. Mary's gets it done 16-15. Of course, Montreal and Laval are going to meet in the Dunsmore Cup. Laurier sort of squeaks one out over McMaster, who they had beat thoroughly at the end of the regular season, and Western puts an absolute beat down on Guelph. Those 2 teams went to double overtime in their regular season meeting, but the Mustangs showing they mean business in the playoffs and the Yates Cup will be a rematch of an epic game that happened in 2016. Laurier came back in the 4th quarter from a huge deficit, so the Mustangs and Hawks will replay that game once again.
So across the country, the usual suspects again, isn't it?
It certainly seems like it. Laval and Montreal seem to play every year in the Quebec Conference, the rematch in Ontario, and if UBC and Calgary go at it again in Can West, it'll be some top-tier teams battling it out for the Vanier Cup.
But still lots of football for the Regina Rams here to play as they have it 1st and 10 at their 42-yard line. Picton and Simon. There's Picton with time. Now he'll have to shake back. It's up in the air, and oh man, that could have been picked off easy, but a nice knockdown by the UBC defensive line. See who got his hands up in the air.
Well, Simon, a late release on the play. Looked like a check release, but very late. Picton looking to dump it off, and ooh,
Isaiah Joseph with a great hand in the air there.
Athletic play.
Rams with 2nd and 10. They'll have 4 wide rights, 2 wide left, empty backfield. UBC sends 4, happy feet again for Picton. He's going to take off. He is smart with the football. He doesn't quite get the first down as he picks up 7 on the play.
UBC continues to cover down well, and once again, when Picton escapes, it's up the middle into the teeth of the defense. And even though it looked like they lost contain there, they certainly didn't, as number 9, Malcolm Lee, was there to force him back inside and cut down Picton short of the first down.
Interesting change in offensive line play, a cut block. A little bit of a on Connor Griffiths. I guess the big 6'4", 290, perfect 30 front defensive end.
You got to mix it up against those guys up front, and Griffiths has caused some problems today. So you chop him at the knees once or twice, and you slow him down just that extra half second.
And there is Simon again, and he does that rolling punt, and it's an end-over-end punt into Pinto's arms. All kinds of room for Pinto. He has a big return on his hands, and he's taken down, fumble on the play. And the Thunderbirds look like they've recovered the football. Rams say they have as well.
That's always the case in the pileup,
That
right?
is.
You think your team has it.
Oh, they're pointing Ram football.
So a
And
net gain
that
on the
is
play
a-
for the Rams of about 6 yards.
That ended up in a 6-yard. Pinto's still on the field. They have the. Well, this got messy here.
There was a big-time lick laid there by number 41, Zach McEachern, on Pinto, who was going full speed down the middle of the field. Oh my, he laid a lick on number 1 to pop the football out. But UBC's got it.
They're giving the football to the UBC Thunderbirds. We'll head downstairs to Andy Neal.
All right, thanks very much, guys. And Blake Neal, the head coach of the UBC Thunderbirds, fired up on their sidelines. Just heard him say we're playing way too complacent right now after that fumble by Travell Pinto on the punt. So he's not too happy, even though his team is up by 18, but he feels like a little bit of complacency is settled over his sideline right now.
That was Ben Cummings with that first down run, picking up huge yardage, so it's going to be second and super short.
That sounds a lot like Blake Neal. He does not like his teams to let up whatsoever, no matter how big of a lead they have.
In comes Cole Meyer for the short yardage offense. The second-year quarterback will head under center. He'll just plow forward, and that's an easy first down. Oh, but he is late into as he kind of let up
Nick Cross
there.
again.
You can't stop no matter the situation.
No, and you got to be careful when you're around Nick Cross, as he just buries Myers, stands him up, paying the price for that first down carry.
As Meyer thought it was going to be an easy first down, but it is not so easy, but still a first down for UBC. Cummings again, still in the backfield. He'll go to O'Connor's right. O'Connor will throw to his left, and that was a big throw as Pinto makes a few men miss, and he makes a small gain into a big gain, and that is a about 14-yard pickup for Pinto.
Look like a little screen pass here, receiver screen to Pinto along the sideline. So slippery, making the defender miss there. Corey Shepard-Green getting back inside, picking up a first down. It's tough to cut back against the grain, but when you have the quickness of Pinto, man, does he make it look easy.
Out of Brampton, Ontario, in his third year with the UBC Thunderbirds, and the Thunderbird offense is rolling again at the Ram 30-yard line. They're already up 18 points, and that is O'Connor, and he is down for the sack, and it's Lane Hall taking down the quarterback.
Hall coming scot-free off the edge as the Rams send all kind of bodies at O'Connor in this blitz package. Nobody even there to try to touch him off the backside edge. Great call by the Rams on defense and an easy sack for number 40.
Defensive coordinator Sheldon Gray dialing it up. He's dialed it up a couple of times at the right time. He's going to need to do it again here. Second and a mile for the Thunderbirds. Rams are going to send 3. They're just going to give the ball to Cummings. Will he have enough for the first down? Not quite. He'll just take it back to the original 1st and 10 marker. And it's going to be a field goal situation for the Thunderbirds.
That sack by Hall really key on that drive as UBC looked like they were going in for another touchdown. But they get stopped short here. Going to be about 37-yard field goal for Hutchins.
His longest this year is 41. It's funny, at the beginning of the year, nobody could buy a sack. Everybody's getting sacks now. It's all cyclical here in the Canada West Football Conference. And it is, as you say, Justin, a 37-yard field goal for Hutchins. He'll chip it, and it is good. That extends the lead to 26-5, and that's back to the 3-touchdown lead for UBC. Rams need a touchdown here to end the half.
They need to get a major on the board here. Feel like they can get back in this game. It's not quite the deficit that they had last week in the second quarter when UBC exploded for 35 points and really took control of that ball game. So still lots of time here left in the second quarter for Picton and this offense to get rolling as they take the ball in the 35 left hash after the field goal.
They'll come out very balanced on offense. They'll give it to Simon, and he made a few men miss. That was going to be a big loss for the Rams, but he ends up picking up close to 6 yards in the play.
Simon with that little stutter step, causing the defenders to whiff, get nothing but air there as he picks up 6 yards on first down for the Rams.
Second and 5 now for the University of Regina. Time ticking down in this first half of football, dominated by UBC. Pick that in, hurry up and pick up that snap. It's up in the air, and a big Ram break, as that could have been taken back to the house by Bashu Sisi-O'Day, but instead it's Shinbine with the catch.
Fortunate, and he concentrated on the ball to make it, but number 29 drove on that route, and that likely should have been a pick six. Big break for the Regina Rams offense. It's picked in, gets it quickly out to the flat, but O'Day, man, felt like he should have had it and taken it back all the way.
The Rams have had 2 pick sixes on home field turf taken back against them like that. Almost one here away. A blitz for the Thunderbirds. Are going to go to the outside again, and that's incomplete. Rams still trying to use, they haven't used the middle of the field at all.
No, not really. We saw the big play down the middle of the Shinbine, but that got called back on a penalty, and the Picton to Picton combo has been just a little off, as we saw there on the timing out route. Noah putting it just a little too far for Mitch.
Big second down for the Regina Ram offense, just on their side of midfield. All kinds of motion. Thunderbirds are going to send one blitzer, and there's in the middle of the field, and there's the first down catch for the Regina Rams, and they're going to Atlee Simon with his second pickup of the game.
Simon lining up all over the field, in the backfield, and the slot at receiver, running the deep in route across the middle, going up and getting it. If you change his jersey number, you wouldn't know. Looks like a receiver out there.
At 6 foot 205. There's Picton again. He has time. He's going through the middle, and that's intercepted on the play. Malcolm Lee with the pick, and that's it for the drive.
Noah Picton off play action here, looking for his cousin, number 6, Mitch, and just simply overthrew him. And Malcolm Lee, playing over top on coverage, makes a great diving play on that football. I wonder if Richard Sherman taught him that. And I say that because Lee in the offseason went down to the Seattle Seahawks complex and actually trained and got some tips from Richard Sherman, one of the best defensive backs in the NFL, showing his stuff right there.
So now the Thunderbirds with time here to put more points on the scoreboard before the end of the half, and they're just going to go to Cummings, and he's just going to kick it out to the right side. Is that O'Connor up there blocking for him? Sure.
O'Connor showing off the wheels. I don't think he got a piece of anyone.
I don't think he
but the intent was there.
As a quarterback, you got to have a smile on your face after you do that. It's Cummings kicking it to the outside. You know, he was an A for effort.
The thought was there. It's the thought that counts,
yes.
right?
He'll get kudos in the huddle, but not on the game film.
They might talk about his speed on the game film, though.
Like, yeah, see my feet? They're fast. And that went nowhere, as this time the Rams were able to sniff this out. That was Nick Daly with the tackle for loss.
But Nick Daly's consistently been in that UBC backfield, had a sack on the first play of the game, hit O'Connor on another. There he drops Cummings for a loss. Definitely a factor for that Rams defense.
The winner of this football game to take on the University of Calgary at McMahon Stadium next week in the Hardy Cup Finals. On the road to the Vanier Cup here in 2017. 2nd and 10 for the UBC Thunderbirds. O'Connor back. O'Connor flushed. He's running to his right. He's going to let go of the football, and just out of the hands of Morrison. And the Ram defense picks up a stop here.
And some possible field position for the offense as O'Connor looks on after that play. Going through his reads, doesn't see anything he liked to the front side. Scramble drill. Morrison coming back on the play. That's a tough ball to complete in between two defenders. The Rams force the punt.
Borsa, the lone man back. Hutchins to kick the football off here for the Thunderbirds. Big booming punt, forces Borsa back. Big hop for the Thunderbirds. Borsa all the way back to his 20-yard line, and he can only make one man miss, and he's taken down at the 26, but a great punt by the UBC Thunderbirds. And that is a big field position flip courtesy of special teams.
It is, and Borsa upset at himself there. That's, and I hesitate to say it, but a rookie mistake. In a situation like that, you cannot let the football go over your head because it costs them a lot of yards in field position. He knows it clearly very well.
Atlee Simon is to the right of Noah Picton. That's Mitch Picton in motion to the right of Simon. It's Simon, had to make one man miss. He puts his head down. That's something we didn't see early on in the season, where the hard yards by the veteran running back.
Well, Simon had a wake-up call early in the season. He had a fumble on the goal line against Manitoba, and they told him essentially, look, we need you to be better or there's going to be some competition and you're going to have some carries taken away. And ever since then, that's when he's popped off in the last 4 games of the regular season, all over 100 yards.
And he set a few team records in the process. And there's that middle of the field for the Regina Rams. And there is Atlee Simon again. Feed him the football because he's been their only offense.
He's been the favorite target of Picton in the passing game too, and once again we see him on the deep in route. That is a difficult catch. Ball thrown behind him, reaches back as he's leaping in the air to make the sure-handed catch and move the chains for the Rams.
Simon with 27 catches for 293 yards and 3 scores in the regular season. He'll need lots in the playoffs here, and there's Mitch Picton with the catch, and he'll make one man miss, and he's taken out of bounds, and there's a flag on the play. I really don't know what the call is. It'll be interesting.
I would imagine it's a late hit out of bounds on Picton. Making a man miss there along the sideline, stepping out quickly, drawing probably an extra 15. Indeed, he will. And that is Will Maxwell whiffing on the tackle for UBC.
At the end of the play,
as Picton showing a little wiggle.
Roughness, UBC number 29. 15-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
That's a bit of a tough call there, right? You want to make sure that the offensive player is out of bounds. I can feel for O'Day on that play.
Yeah, I know you try to protect the defenseless receiver, but he was in a protected mode, and there's Picton over the middle, almost picked off as he was looking for Shinbine and went off his fingertips and almost intercepted.
Yeah, Picton had Shinbine there on the out route. Deep on the hash marks, just again a little bit off is Picton today with some of these throws, especially on the out routes. That could have been a big play to move the chains. Now it's 2nd and 10.
Time ticking down in this first half. The Ram offense moving the football in this second quarter against UBC, who send 4. Rams go over the middle. That was a little dump play to Simon, and it falls to the ground. And if you're the Rams, it's going to be 3rd and 10 in no man's land because Scraper's longest field goal is 34 yards this season. So I think they're going to go for it here.
Yeah, Picton staying on the field. I like this decision. You're right. This would be a long field goal. It would be over 40 yards. Picton in the offense, staying on the field. They can easily get this done and keep the chains moving.
Scraper hit from 41 last year, and that's his longest in his career. So it's 3rd and 10, and the Rams, it falls incomplete as Will Maxwell was in on the coverage of Shinbine. That's a turnover on downs. Thunderbird football.
Maxwell making that play look easy, almost like he was running the route on offense, steps right in front of Shinbine to make an easy knockdown. Maybe could have picked that off too, but nonetheless, he forces a turnover on downs.
I think the Thunderbird offense will be happy to just grind out the last 24 seconds here of this first half and go into the break with a huge 3-touchdown lead. Looks like it was going to be a little bit of an interesting play there with Travell Pinto scraping along that offensive line.
Showing the reverse action once again, something different as Ooh, tempers flare a little bit here on the pile. Flags going everywhere.
And at the bottom of that was Danny Nesbitt and a UBC offensive lineman. That's Blake Picard. Finally some emotion here at this football game, but you heard us talk at the beginning. 6th time in 2 years that these two teams have played. And Blake Neal even told the referees at the beginning of last week that these two teams, you know what? They've played each other, but there's lots of respect, but expect a very, very tough football game.
That's what happens when you see a lot of an opponent.
Ooh, double penalty
Get
against
feisty.
UBC.
So if they're going to back him up 30 yards here, there's still 18 seconds on the clock. It's going to be 2nd down, too.
We have rough play, disqualification, UBC number 4. We also have unnecessary roughness, UBC number 75. The ball will be at the 1-yard line.
Huge development here for the UBC Thunderbirds as Ben Cummings has been kicked out of this ball game for a rough play. That is rare to see. Blake Neal looking for some sort of an explanation.
That is shocking as the ball is now all the way on the 1-yard line. As Cummings is going to get escorted off the field.
2nd down, UBC, 2nd down.
Huge turn of events here in a number of ways. Obviously, with Cummings getting kicked out of this ball game for what he did underneath the pile, and that is a good call from the officials. Clearly, Cummings delivered a punch to the defender who was on the bottom of that pile. Yes, Cummings' helmet came off, but it looked like it was within the play and within the tackle. You cannot do that on a football field, deliver a shot like that to a defenseless player. That was a clear punch. Officials saw it. Great job.
And there's no half the distance to the goal line on rough plays, so it's after the gain, it's now 2nd and 43 as you see the line of scrimmage marker at the 1-yard line and then shadow the goalposts. We'll see this again as rough stuff happens in the bottom, and as you see, the referee threw that flag instantly and everybody came in, and there was the second retaliation by UBC, so they could have got more. Is at the bottom of the pile is Danny Nesbitt of the University of Regina. So Corey Nagata, the 2nd-year running back out of Richmond, will be at the helm, and they're going to put Cole Meyer in the short yardage offense on their old goal line, and he's just going to plow forward and pick up 2 or 3 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 41. As we have even more rough stuff as the Rams call timeout.
Well, the Rams are going to want a few seconds back on the clock here, I think. They called timeout immediately after that play. A couple other seconds ticked off, but...
Mr. Timekeeper, can I please get the clock reset to 15 seconds? 15 seconds. Timeout, Regina.
There it is. Regina called that timeout right after the play was over. As I said, a few seconds ticked off that were extra, so 4 seconds put back on the clock. And with UBC backed up here, the other implication for Cummings getting kicked out of the game is the penalty yardage.
Yes.
Right? Likely going to see UBC take a safety or punt the ball away here. If they punt the ball away, the Rams could easily be in field goal position already with time for possible play to go to the end zone before the half.
You need a booming punt just to get to the 1st down marker.
3rd and 43 now. About the longest down I've ever seen.
You ever have to deal with 2nd and 43?
Be thankful I didn't.
If I was UBC, how their defense is playing, I think they're just going to try to kill as much time as possible. The Rams send the house. Hutchins on the run, and he is out of bounds there and gives up the single, but kills a lot of time on that, on the 2-point safety.
Did kill 7 seconds on the safety, though. Get 2 points on the board for the Rams. 8 seconds left. They still have a timeout, do the Rams. See if they can do anything here. key turning point in this ball game.
I thought it was going to be a very, low-key 24 seconds, but then just to catch you up, Ben Cummings was ejected from this football game. It was 1st and 10 for UBC around the 30-yard line. They get a 3 yards on the carry. Cummings loses his helmet. He throws a punch, and then another rough play penalty against UBC pushes them all the way back to 2nd and 45 from their own 1-yard line. And the Rams are gifted some points, and the paint is being peeled on the sidelines.
It is. You can see Blake Neal pulling that offense together, probably saying something to the effect of, guys, get our heads together. That is uncharacteristic of a Blake Neal coach team, to see a rough play like that. And that could be a crucial loss with Ben Cummings out of this game for the entire rest of it. And you're going to have to go with a guy, as you said, Corey Nagata, that hasn't had nearly as many reps as Cummings.
And Andy Neal's going to need an MVP effort to interview Blake Neal here at halftime. As the Thunderbirds will kick it off here after giving up the safety. It drops down at around the 17-yard line. Rams looking for some sort of a return. This might do it for the half, and it will. As down it goes, and that ends a big first half for the UBC Thunderbirds with a very interesting end to this game, to this half. How much could something like that really turn a football game?
I feel like it could be big in this instance because you get a couple points on the board, and the way Cummings has been running for this UBC offense has been very key. And there we see Blake Neal talking to the officials, getting the explanation about what happened. But I would imagine if he saw the film of this, he would have to do nothing but agree with the call.
As Blake Neal is going to go from the officials to Andy. This is going to be, I'm going to be fairly entertained by this one, as we're going to get a front row seat to this, and it'll be interesting to see what Neal has to say. And here's a look again at the punch.
And this is the best angle here. You can clearly see Cummings underneath the pile, frustrated, and delivers a blow there. And the flag by the official, number 22, Johnny on the spot, was all over it, did not hesitate in any way. He saw that very clearly.
And it could have been another one on El Torre, as he was the one that got the other rough play call, as the Thunderbirds make their long walk to the dressing room. As Neal getting the long explanation from the refereeing crew.
Or giving his own version of it.
Oh, his own version, or just trying to set the tone for the second half. And finally with that, there's Andy Neal. He gets to collect the head coach. I'm just going to wait till we go down to Andy. Just depends to see what coach says. So let's head downstairs to Andy.
All right, thanks very much, Dan. So Ben Cummings out. Blake, how big of a difference does that make, and what kind of explanation did you get?
Not the right one, but he's out. We're gonna have to, we're gonna have to adjust and get through the second half.
19-point lead. So what has been the big keys for you to have the lead going to the half, and what's the message?
Well, the defense, the defense has been playing well. Offensively, we stalled a bit in at the end of the second quarter. We just got to come out. We got to score points, right? We got to keep our offense on the field.
Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
There's Blake Neal, head coach of the UBC Thunderbirds. He has a 19-point lead over the Regina Rams here in the Hardy Cup semifinal showdown between these two teams. UBC won last year 40-34, trying to do it again to the Rams here on the Canada West Football Showcase. Artie Cup playoffs continue next Saturday in Calgary when a conference champion will be crowned. Watch the action live on the Canada West Football Showcase starting at 1 p.m. Back at Thunderbird Stadium in Vancouver, the UBC Thunderbirds, 3 touchdown throws from Michael O'Connor, enjoying right now a 26-7 lead over the visiting Regina Rams. Last year, these two teams squared off in Regina. It was the Thunderbirds winning that one by a 40-34 contest. Regina won the first meeting of the year between these two teams back in week 1, but UBC won last week here, 44-15, trying to make it back-to-back as we welcome you back to the Canada West Football Showcase. It's been a year filled with great plays, and now we show you the best from Week 8 in the Canada West and the Canada West Plays of the Week.
It's the gift to Harrison. Again between the tackles. He has some room. Can he split the last defender? Touchdown, Huskies.
Holy moly, he's fast. Wow. He got to the second level. There was some Bisons who had a look at him, but splits that perfectly, a big gap, and then turns on the jets and looked like a couple Bisons.
This touchdown, they can pretty much ice this game and pick up their second victory of the season. Cotillier to the end zone. Touchdown, Bisons. And it is Patchell with the catch.
The Huskies fell asleep a little bit on him, I think, after the Alberta looked like it was out of touch, and we get another look at that.
You've seen great tempo. Sorry about that, Len, from this UBC offense. Here's O'Connor down the field. Morrison, a great catch. Alex Morrison tiptoes, and he says touchdown. Alex Morrison with a huge catch.
What a play. O'Connor throws a rope to Morrison. So their 2-minute drill turns into a 9-second drill. Quick strike UBC offense.
Fake by Picton. Noah down the field has a man. Oh, it's picked off by Parker Simpson. The Kelowna Owl. He's got the football. Parker Simpson out of bounds. What a huge play by the Thunderbirds.
What a gun. He's looking to his right, has lots of time, decides to pull it down and runs. He goes to the right side. Brings himself back. There comes the ball loose again. The Golden Bears finally do land on it. Play action again. And this time it's complete, and the ball flops loose again, and here comes the Golden Bears to land on it for their 3rd fumble recovery of the first quarter. And Baker will boot it into the end zone, gets caught up in the wind, and Newsel doesn't get there. It's picked up for a touchdown by Alberta. Newsel touched that, and the Bears got there first. Touches it there. It bounces around. He's trying to get it. He definitely touches it there, and it's picked up. Was that Tack Landry?
Yeah. They have played some great football. There's a great short kick, and that is the Bisons coming up with the football and go up in the air and almost like a rebounder in basketball, and a little Poochie kickoff, but well played by the Bisons, and all kinds of room as we have Aruda Welsh. He'll find some space on the left side. Aruda Welsh to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Bisons. Great play by
up in the air, and there's a big lane there for him to cut through, and Stanger's the only guy out there, the kicker. He gives a cutback on him, reverses field, and
boy, that play by Marcel Aruda Welch with a 22-0 for Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan had to win that game by 37 to qualify for the playoffs. Manitoba roared back to win on the road, and that allowed Alberta to get into the playoffs because of that Manitoba victory. Well, a lot of defensive great plays also this season, and in today's game there are 6 All-Stars, Canada West All-Stars in the game, 4 for the UBC Thunderbirds, 2 more from the Regina Rams, and right now the defensive plays of the year in the Canada West.
A little bit of time, far side, and that's picked off over the middle, taken away by Michael Schmidt, and he's got some room here, 13 and red. He'll get back to midfield before he's taken down.
Schmidt is reading the eyes over there, athletic play to go up and get it and make that turnover for the Calgary Dinos D.
First and 10 inside the 20-yard line. Handoff to Molnar. No, play action. And a one-handed almost catch and almost pick, and it is a tip and an interception. What a bizarre play that was. His receiver got one hand on it. So yeah, Hunter Carl with the tip, the helmet, and the catch.
Is the 25. Catelier rolling right, throws right, picked off.
That defender was able to drop off and get underneath that throw that went to the wide out towards the sideline.
These are in shotgun. Play action. Looks right. He is tackled quickly. The ball is loose. No whistle on the play. They're all fighting for it. The Dinos trying to pick it up. They are going to scoop it at the 9 and stroll into the end zone for the score. Calgary with touchdowns on back-to-back plays. Teo Dizar fumbles on 1st and 10. It is scooped by Calgary linebacker Boston Rowe, and he trots in 9 yards for the TD.
Very calm presence back there. Now he's going to take a shot over the middle. Oh! A big hit by Dylan Niedermeyer.
Go get it and get ready for it.
When you first see that hit, you think you want another look at it. That's just shoulder right into the chest. Pretty clean hit by the safety.
7 from the 7. Sinangro with the empty backfield has it batted back into his face, and it's intercepted by Manitoba. That ball pinballing around into the hands of the defensive lineman, Cole Adamson.
Bats it up into the air and then catches it himself. Just a super job there by Adamson.
Here's Dizar feeling the pressure, puts it up, it's wobbling, it's picked off! The Birds with an interception, deep in their own territory. They are returning it, we're trying to get the number. UBC crossing midfield, and that is number 90, Elliott Graham, and he's gonna go the distance. Touchdown, Elliott Graham.
Cummings in behind him, fakes it, pressure, throws it to the end zone, has a man there. Looked like it might have been intercepted on a bounce. It is an interception. They're ruling it's an interception. So it went off of Watson, did not touch the ground, and then popped up in the air.
And that is a great call by the officials. And a great play by Falloon to get his hand underneath that ball.
Pressured from behind, lost the ball. And it was scooped up. What a play by Nicholas Daly.
You see Daly, quick little dips the shoulder again, gets the hand around, and then as he's on the ground, scoops the ball. That's just a heck of a play.
Down to 5:43 to go here in the third quarter. Siemens back, pressure, batted pass, and that is going to be picked off. Boston Rowe at the 25 to the 10, the 5, touchdown, Dinos. And it looked like Corey Robinson again. Looked like he was coming up the middle on a bit of a stunt. Robinson just got that big mitt up in the air. A little foul tip to Boston Rowe, and Rowe takes it to the
Boy, Boston Rowe, great defensive player for the Calgary Dinos. And next week in the 81st Hardy Cup, we will have the special teams plays of the year for you at halftime as well. Well, speaking of Boston Rowe and the Calgary Dinos, they squared off once again for the second straight week at home against the Alberta Golden Bears. Alberta qualified for the playoffs for the first time since 2010. They clobbered Calgary last week 53-3, but Calgary is through to the Hardy Cup championship for the 10th consecutive year with a 39-22 win over their provincial rivals. That game was tied at 16 midway through the third quarter, but then Calgary scored a quick touchdown to take the lead, and they never looked back. And now they're awaiting the winner of this showdown here in Vancouver. But the Thunderbirds, with the 26-7 lead over the Regina Rams, will have Stephen Bryce on the other side when we return on the Canada West Football Showcase. Regina Rams head coach Stephen Bryce joining me. And so what's the message for the team at the half to try and get back into this game?
Don't panic. They came out and played their best quarter, their best half of football. Don't panic. Let's reset. Let's go ahead and win one down at a time. And I think we can do that. If we start winning one, get a major on the board, I think good things will happen.
What's been the biggest challenge on offense to be able to get some points on the board?
Rhythm, totally rhythm. I mean, we'll make big plays and then we'll give it up because of a hands to the face penalty or just lack of execution. We're moving the ball, we're making big plays, but then we're just not being continuous with it. Our consistency's lacking right now.
You're starting the half with the football, so how big will that be to be able to set a tone for the second half?
Well, it's big. It gives us an opportunity to come out and really find that reset button and get some points on the board.
Stephen, thanks for this. All the best.
All right, thank you.
Stephen Bryce, head coach of the Regina Rams, back upstairs with the call of the second half. Dan Plaster and Justin Dunk, guys.
Thanks, Andy. And it was a big first half by the UBC Thunderbirds. Pretty much dominated throughout the whole first half. A goofy ending, but for the UBC Thunderbirds, it all started with their defense.
It really did. That #1 ranked unit in the Canada West Conference came to play today and set their offense up in some plus field position. They made it tough on Noah Picton, getting in his face early and often in the opening 30 minutes. They did not let him get to the edge and buy extra time to make plays, and then Michael O'Connor and the offense went to work. O'Connor going deep down the sideline to Alex Morrison, the Alouettes draft pick. Then O'Connor comes back to his big target again off of play action, finding him on the comeback route in the end zone. 2 touchdowns in the first half for Morrison, and then he found another one of his dangerous playmakers, an easy ball to Travell Pinto for a touchdown as he was left wide open. And there's that defense making plays. Malcolm Lee, who has quite the football lineage, going and getting the interception. But at the end of the first half, some adversity caused by UBC on themselves as Ben Cummings, after that play, punches a Regina Rams defender. He's disqualified from this game, and that will play a massive factor in the second half with Corey Nagata now at running back for the Thunderbirds.
You can almost see Cummings when he got up after he threw the punch. He almost knew he did something wrong. The way his body, he kind of threw his hands down to the ground here. It will be interesting to see what kind of a momentum switch it has in this football game. But you know what? It's not the Thunderbird offense that's been dominating, though they did put up 3 touchdowns. It's that defense, like you said in that highlight pack, that has led this way all the way. And there's Nagata there. We're going to see a lot of him in this half.
We really will. And the difference with Nagata is that he just hasn't had the amount of reps and carries that Cummings has coming into the game and in the regular season. Cummings had over 100 carries. Nagata just 38. So he has had a little bit of time, but it will definitely be a different look with Nagata in the backfield.
Corey Nagata out of Richmond, BC, also played for the Okanagan Sun here in the BCFC, as he will see the football a lot here in this second half. But as you heard Andy mention in his chat with head coach Stephen Bryce, it will be the Regina Rams getting the football here first in the second half, and a big first drive here in the second half for the University of Regina. We'll see what kind of momentum, because they were really flat there at times in the first half.
They were, especially on offense, and held to no majors with Noah Picton, the reigning Brighton winner, at the controls. That was a well-played first half for the UBC defense.
Borsa almost made it through that crack in the cover team of the UBC Thunderbirds, and he knew it. A lot of pressure on the defending Heck Creighton Trophy Award winner here to start off the second half.
See on the kickoff return, UBC player down on the field.
As we'll see who it is Noah Picton. Not the strongest of first halves.
Certainly not. Sacked a number of times, had pressure in his face through an interception. There was almost a second one, too, along the sidelines that was nearly taken back for a pick six, but a 2017 Canada West All-Star for the second straight season. He's got the kind of talent that could lead a comeback in a big-time game like this, the Hardy Cup semi.
Trying to get a number on whoever they're working on the shoulders there after the kick coverage, and it's interesting how many kick coverage rules there are that everybody tries to circumvent and try to deal with. That's Evan Horton for the UBC Thunderbirds. As Horton, a reserve linebacker out of Mission Secondary in his third season, he's going to run off the field. In the United States, they're a hair away from getting rid of the kickoff because that's where the majority of their injuries happen.
Yeah, and you really don't see many actual returns happen down there, especially in the NFL. It's like the ball's kicked out of the end zone on 80% of kickoffs as it is, but it looks like number 47 there is going to be okay, Evan Horton.
Rams will start things off at their own 21-yard line. There's the gift to Simon. Atlee Simon had a solid first half running the football, as he will pick up 4 or 5 yards on the play to start off his first carry of the second half.
The Rams really did try to establish Simon in that first half, and they go right to him here in the second to get him going and established. Maybe they feel like that's the way to help open up the passing game for Picton.
2nd and 6 for the Regina Rams. A looping snap. Picton had to get out of his hands in a hurry, and a nice little play there for the Rams as it's Thomas Huber with his first catch of the football game.
Picton on the curl route, and we talked about Picton being just a little off target in the first half, but much different here to open the second. That curl route throw on the money for a first down. The proper shoulder there away from the defender, and that was Constantinos there looking to make a play, but Picton put it on the proper side of his receiver.
So the Rams again, 1st and 10. Picton with all kinds of time. He's going to have to spin out of some traffic. He's going to take off to his left. He'll pick up 5 or 6 and just walk out of bounds. Noah Picton 8 for 18 for 103 yards in that first half.
Well, that's not the type of completion percentage we're used to seeing out of Noah Picton, but he started this second half much differently. That spin out of the pocket to put himself in a second and kind of a medium situation as the offense looks to be in a better rhythm here already to start the third quarter.
2nd and 6 for the Rams. 4 receivers to the right. Simon into block. Picton's going to look up into the middle. He has shin bind, and it's intercepted. Katsantanis with the INT. He has the room taking it back, and he's finally taken down. Is it a fumble on the play? No, it is. The ball did hit the ground. Rams say they recover, but it was out of bounds, and it's UBC football.
Picton had some trouble with the snap. I feel like if he got this cleanly and caught it cleanly, it would have been a much different play. But he saw the matchup. It was just, it took time for him to get handle of the ball. And Katsantanis going up and getting it, attacking the football for the interception. We talked about him off the top. He's a difference maker at that free safety position. Lost the ball there at the end, but fortunately, UBC got it back.
2nd pick of the game for the UBC defense. O'Connor is going to go right to work. He goes over the middle, and that is in and out of the hands of his intended receiver as he was looking for Marshall Cook.
Marshall Cook wide open, breaking free on the post route. That could have been a big play and possibly a touchdown as O'Connor delivered a perfect ball. Cook knows he should have had it.
That's the 3rd drop of the day for O'Connor's receivers. And a couple of them would have extended drives, and that one would have been a big first down to start off their first drive of this half. They work the clock down. O'Connor still with lots of time. He'll find his man. Easy catch and out of bounds, and he goes right to the man who dropped the ball, Marshall Cook.
Cook getting open again, this time on the out route, short side of the field. Blake Mill there saying, there you go. We get the ball right back to you. Get some confidence. O'Connor tall and calm in the pocket, delivering this football right on the money to Cook, who hauls it in this time.
Cook really made sure on that catch. The 6'3", 210-pound receiver out of Nanaimo, BC. Nagata to the right of O'Connor. Hasn't seen the football yet. O'Connor has to escape pressure. Nice little screen set up. Nagata can't get away with the tackle, as it looks like it was Polis Coco in with the shoestring tackle of the running back.
There we see the first touch for Nagata into this game after Cummings was ejected, but great play to read it there by the Regina linebacker, the defensive back that is, Polis Coco. Get him down to the turf.
So the Rams have been able to stop UBC so far on first down. Let's see if they can stop them on second down this time. O'Connor starts his offense. He just stands in the pocket. We have flags on the play. He's going to take off to his right, gets rid of the football. It was close to first down yardage. There is a flag on the play after the catch by Alex Morrison.
You would imagine where this flag was thrown on the field. It's probably going to be a holding call against UBC, but there we see on that play again, O'Connor breaks the pocket, and Morrison really on the same page with his quarterback as he has been all game long, breaking back to the football, and it did indeed look like in the middle of that screen there was a holding penalty.
Great catch by Morrison with a defensive back draped on his back.
Certainly coming back to the football along the sidelines, little low, not an easy grab, but he made it.
Morrison in his 5th year, Marshall Cook also in his 5th year in that receiving core for the UBC Thunderbirds.
Unnecessary roughness. UBC number 71. 15-yard penalty, second down.
Not a holding call, more roughness play from this UB offense. It's a high-low situation there.
Vikram Varpool engaged on an already blocked defensive lineman. Coach Nill will not like that either.
He won't, but a good call again from the officials. They've done a great job here today.
So first and for a second and forever as O'Connor spins away, and he's finally taken down for the sack. Big sack for the Rams, and another push as this time Diego Torre got away with one. As the Ram defensive end, Nick Daly,
creating havoc. You got to give him that sack, his second on the day. He's been in O'Connor's kitchen fairly consistently here in this one, and a big-time swing there as Daly's still down on the field feeling the effects of hitting the turf.
Afterwards, El Torre gave him a little bit of a push as
that might have done the damage.
Yeah, well, Daly is an all-star. He was also 2016 Canada West Rookie of the Year, also recruited by the University of Saskatchewan. A recruiting war between those two teams. As Daly named an all-star here after a 6.5 sack season. He has 2 in this game, and that was his second. Pops up, incredible motor.
And that sack total tied the school record set by Akeem Hicks, who has now had a fairly lengthy NFL career.
4 NFL players, Stephon Charles, John Ryan, and Brent Jones, 4 NFLers from the Regina Ram program. Able to make pros, and you're seeing more and more CIS players making their way to the NFL. Hutchins comes down, and again, it's led to bounce all the way to the Rams 7-yard line, and that's going to be no going for the return as Borsa can only spin away and head to the turf. And that's back-to-back punts by Hutchins that have been allowed to bounce all the way deep in Ram territory.
And Borsa's really got to get up underneath those, at least catch it on the fly. And even though it's a shorter punt and it's a tougher catch, you're probably, if nothing else, going to get a no yards penalty. And there we see the amount of Regina Rams in the pros on both sides of the border, CFL and the NFL. Chris Getzlaff has had a long and productive career in the CFL. Brendan Labatt, an outstanding Canadian offensive lineman, and we mentioned all the NFLers the Rams have had too.
There's a little stop and go by Atlee Simon, maybe another possible CFLer for the Regina Rams. But he's stopped for a very, very short gain on the play. Set up second and long. This is a tough situation for the Ram offense.
The one tendency that I've noticed here in this game from the Rams is running the ball a lot on first down. I almost wonder if it's in the playbook here at some point to go more play action or let Picton sling it all over the field, because they haven't had much success running the football on first down.
There's Picton with time. Picton, and he's Again, a little out of sorts. He's looking for Simon again in the middle.
A little sun route out of the backfield from Simon. Picton a little high once again. We saw that issue in the first half, missing some receivers high. That's what happened on the interception when he was looking for Mitch Picton. Malcolm Wee laid out to make it. So again, just a little off on some of these touch throws for Picton.
Probably going to see Scraper sit on this one to extend the lead back to 21 for UBC. And staggered returners for the Thunderbirds, and that was a quick.
Don't want to waste any time.
There is no wasting of time at all for that Regina Rams special team. So it's another safety given up by this Ram punt team. As we take a look at the Thunderbirds, some of them that are in the pros.
Well, and obviously we just mentioned a lot of Rams in the pros, but the Thunderbirds of late have turned out a lot of players since Blake Neal has gotten here especially. I talked to one CFL GM coming into this game, and he says this program with the Thunderbirds just develops players to be ready to make an impact in the pros right away. And we saw that with Taylor Loeffler. Had an amazing rookie season in 2016 as a free safety for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Arguably should have been a CFL All-Star, just beating that out for that award, but they continually turn out pros, especially under Blake Neal.
There's Nagata with the run, and there's Nagata running into absolutely a big white wall. He's taken down for a very, very short gain for UBC.
Nagata, a bit different looking of a runner than Cummings. A little more of a slasher, but stacked up there for a gain of just a couple.
Yeah, Cummings is a very hard runner. O'Connor now has 2nd and 7 to deal with. Tries to get a little look at that Ram defense, calling out the cadence for his receivers. Daly makes the edge again. O'Connor's cut down just as he gets rid of the football. This Ram pass rush is starting to pick things up here.
They really have, and it's been Nick Daly leading the way, and he's talking a little bit of smack there to Michael O'Connor. This looked like it could be a possibly dangerous play as a defender rolled up on O'Connor. That's Lane Hall there, right on his lead leg, his plant left leg. Almost looked like a possible knee injury, but O'Connor escapes, but that pressure forces the errant throw.
And in the CFL, you see the challenge flag thrown on that sort of situation because that's that low hit that you see called once in a while in the Canadian Football League. Rams had big pressure. Hutchins kicks his way out of it. Borso will finally field it in the air, and he'll get about to the 49-yard line, but great field position for the Ram offense.
And that's the key. Finally, the punt was fielded in the air, and that time it was actually Mortgat getting underneath it, making sure that it wasn't going to bounce and waste any type of yardage in field position. Noah Picton in the offense set up in their best starting position of the entire ball game. They really need to get a major here on the board just based off where they're starting and the fact that they haven't got one for the entire game yet.
Rams entered this game as the number 9 team in the country after falling to 4-4 last week right here in Vancouver. UBC moved up to 6 as the University of Calgary fell to 4 after losing to the Alberta Golden Bears, but they ended up winning this afternoon to make their way to yet a ho-hum, another Hardy Cup final.
Seems like every year you can sort of put them down in pen, not even pencil, to be in the Hardy Cup, and they maybe rested some players against Alberta in the final week of the regular season and showed the difference, as you said, in the point spread from the last game of the regular season to the Hardy Cup semi. Vastly different.
All the scoring for the UBC Thunderbirds came early, especially by receiver Alex Morrison, and it all started off with a big pitch and catch for Michael O'Connor. That got them off to the races.
It really did. Morrison had the first 2, and on that first touchdown, it was him and Pinto working on the same side of the field, and then there we see it again. Morrison and Pinto working on the same side, and Pinto coming open for O'Connor's 3rd touchdown pass, all coming in the first half.
UBC working the different levels of the field. And now it's the Ram offense looking to get any sort of offense, as it took a while for them to get onto the scoreboard touchdown-wise last week. They'll just give to Simon. He'll weasel his way to the outside. He has 20, he has 30, he's to the 20 and down at the 15-yard line. He almost broke it for a score.
Simon cutting back to the weak side of the field. Jump cut off to the races. This is special ability here. Sees it backside. There's the jump cut, and it's off to the races. That almost looked like he was going to take it to the house, but number 35, AJ Blackwell said, you're not taking it to the house on my watch. But a big-time gain from the running back as he rips off a chunk on first down.
Rams in their first time in the red zone this game. So they'll give it right back to Simon. He's warm, but he meets a massive UBC Thunderbird defenders. He'll pick up a few yards. Still not a bad gain on first down.
4 yards falling forward. This Rams offense needs a touchdown on this possession here as they get in the run zone after the big Simon run to possibly ignite the Regina O.
Atlee Simon with that run puts him over 100 yards for this game, rushing. So that's the 5th game in a row that Simon has done that. There's Picton. He's going to go deep to the end zone. Does he have his man? And it's nicely knocked out by Katsantonis, and they call pass interference on the pass intended for Mitch Picton.
Now Picton running the corner route here. Noah sort of floats this ball up in the air, probably a little longer than he wanted. As you said, Katsantonis coming in to knock the ball down, but there might have been some contact on the route before this as Picton trying to go up and high point
Forward
the football,
and
indeed,
defense.
that's a pretty good call by the officials.
The ball will be spotted
Michael
at the
Spencer
1.
was draped
Automatic.
all over him.
First down.
Yeah, Michael Spencer definitely made contact with Mitchell Picton before the ball arrived, so that's a great play. But there you see the ability of Katsantonis in the middle of the field, able to make plays sideline to sideline.
So 1st and goal for the Regina Rams. They give to Simon, and he is stoned at the point of attack, and great push by that Thunderbird defensive line. This will be 3-down territory for sure for the Rams.
Simon getting the football, and he had a defender right at his feet, so he tried to go over the top, and you see 22 Joseph surging underneath, making the play to force Simon to have to leave his feet.
He found that seam in that Ram offensive line. 2nd and goal from the 1. The Rams with their 2nd crack at this, looking for their first touchdown. There's a play action. They're going to go over the middle, and that's incomplete. The Rams were looking for their tight end, as that was Blake Draper, the intended receiver. 3rd and goal, and you know the Rams are going to go for it here.
Michael Spencer coming back after getting that pass interference penalty in the end zone. Tight coverage here, making it a tough throw for Picton, trying to go to his big tight end there. Number 88, Blake Draper, diving, but can't come up with it. And Picton coming off the field here, at least to chat about what might go on. It looks like
it should be Frankie Gray, the 25th year senior for the Regina Rams. It feels like he's been there forever. It's actually his 5th year. He is their short yardage back. He's going to find a seam, go over for the top, touchdown Regina Rams, and they're finally in that UBC end zone.
that is a huge play. That could have been game-changing no matter what happened there, but the Rams get into the end zone. He finds a little space, dives over the top of his big offensive lineman there, 62th, Aaron Churchill, surging, getting number 18, Frankie Gray, into the end zone. Look out, the Rams, just like that, back into the game.
With this convert, they'll cut the lead to 14 for UBC. It's down and through. We make fun of Frankie Gray being with the Regina Rams for a long time. This is only his 5th year, but it feels like he's been there forever. A former quarterback, now plays defensive back. And him being a 5th-year player, you know he doesn't want a season to end right here.
Certainly not. I like the call there. They go double tight ends, really sort of thin out that defense across the front. We saw on 1st and goal, Simon being stopped when they were stacked up, had all the defenders tight and inside the box, which created the penetration for Joseph to stop Simon. But there you go double tight. You widen the defense a little bit, thin it out, and there was a little seam there that Gray was able to dive over the top.
The Andrew Buckley style of short yardage offense.
There you go. Buckley running the great short yardage package for the Calgary Stampeders. Started on Friday night for Calgary. Had a pretty solid effort, even though he didn't end the game for them. But nonetheless, good to see Canadian quarterback getting the start.
Him and Brandon Bridge have both seen starts this season with the CFL teams, and two great quarterbacks here, and a great returner. Pinto, can he get the edge as he'll spin around, but a great return and solid field position for the UBC Thunderbirds. And good discussion out west to see which player would get the better crack at a CFL roster, but with the Rams scoring their first touchdown of the game, we're going to head down to field level with Andy Neal.
All right, thanks very much, Dan Atley-Simon. Big run to help set up the touchdown. What did you see on the play that allowed you to gallop down the field the way you did?
The lineman was just able to get up to the backers, and I was able to squeak one through. We needed that big.
Was that drive touchdown or nothing going into it?
Say that again?
Was that drive touchdown or bust going into it, badly needed to get into the end zone?
It was getting to that point, yeah. We've been struggling, but hopefully that can turn things around for us here.
Well, all the best the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thanks, Andy. And Nagata with a great carry on first down. We talk about quarterbacks. Is it going to be Michael O'Connor or Noah Picton getting that crack at the CFL? Both have Michael O'Connor has a couple of years. Noah has one more year here at Canada West eligibility.
You talk to scouts around the CFL and you get the sense that O'Connor's going to possibly have a bigger shot, but you could see both of these guys in CFL training camps.
As you saw Cole Mayer try to plow forward for a first down, he had his difficulties there trying to find first down yardage. O'Connor, I mean, his story is quite familiar for football fans. Started off at Penn State, but between Christian Hackenberg, now in the NFL, now Trace McSorley, who may be a better draft pick, now with Penn State, who I think lost today to Michigan State. So they've had a rough time of it. Trace McSorley, probably a good move for O'Connor to come to UBC.
Likely, and you wanted to play. That was the key, right? So he knew he could come up here with the type of talent he had and step in right away. And he showed that he could play at this level in 2015, his first year in U Sports football, winning the Vanier Cup, and he was the Vanier Cup MVP against a tough Montreal defense.
And if he replies with a big drive here for UBC, he'll have to escape some heavy Ram rush. Great coverage by the Regina Ram defensive backs, but O'Connor's able to pick up a few yards and use his big frame.
And he can move more than you would think for a guy with his size. 6'4", 6'5", goes through the progressions. Didn't like Pinto there on that little hook route. Gets out of the pocket, picks up a couple, make it about 2nd and 8.
A very boisterous Regina Ram contingent here to watch their team, who trail by 14. O'Connor with time, is that caught? What a great catch on the play. Marshall Cook, who had a man draped all over him. That was Zach Moore on the coverage, but he's still able to make the grab.
Now, how about the throw by O'Connor? Spotting this football perfectly in there. That's a tough catch by Cook, but you got to give O'Connor all the credit on that play. Over a defender, drops it into the right shoulder. Number 29 there had close coverage, Zach Moore, but that's a pinpoint pass from O'Connor.
There's the give to Nagata. There's Nagata picking up about 5 or 6 on the play. Solid run for the UBC running back, and they're slowly moving this ball and killing the clock, which is probably the bigger play here for the Thunderbirds.
They are, but the last time Regina really stiffened up as the UBC Thunderbirds were approaching field goal position. They need another stop here, get the ball back right to Noah Picton.
O'Connor, the give to Nagata. Nagata will be real close to the first down. If he doesn't have it, it'll be an easy 3rd down gamble for UBC. Great run by the second-year running back.
Nagata showing he's got a little bit of power, even at his smallish size, 5'9", 195, sticking it up in there. Won't go to the turf easily, that's for sure.
Don't know if they're going to ask for a measurement or just give him the first down. They're going to bring the sticks out. The winner of this will have to head to McMahon Stadium and play the University of Calgary in the Hardy Cup Finals with a chance to advance to the next step to the Vanier Cup in Hamilton this year. Back to Hamilton.
Second year in a row. Last year, the Dinos put up a good fight. Looked like they were going to have that national title, but Laval came back in the second half. Strong effort by Hugo Richard, the Rouge et Or quarterback, to lead his team back for yet another Vanier Cup win by Laval.
O'Connor all kinds of time and easily grabbed into the turf goes Travell Pinto, and I think he just purposely, you know what, I'm just going to take the easy yardage here.
O'Connor zinged it in there pretty good. Pinto makes a sure catch to pick up about 4 or 5 on first down.
UBC really chewing up this clock on a great offensive drive here at the end of the third quarter as they're up 14 on the Regina Rams. Second and about 6 or 7, they'll go to Pinto, and good coverage on the play as that will snuff out the drive. It's kind of in that no man's land. You might expect UBC to go for it here. Oh, no, they're going to send out the team.
It's a little long, 3rd and 6. We have seen Hutchins take off with it on 3rd down, though, but Pinto on a slant route, ball high there. Lots of traffic in the area. Nick Cross once again in coverage on Pinto. A matchup to keep an eye on. 2 premier players going at it.
On comes Hutchins to try to pin the Regina Rams inside their own 20-yard line. He's done that 10 times during the regular season. He'll hang one high in the air. And there's the 15-yard penalty. That is not what Coach Neal wanted from his special teams.
It looks like it's close, right? You're trying to eye up the 5 yards. And that's what you got to do, though, as a returner. And we finally see Borsa get under one. Mortgat did it last time, which ensured the Rams great field position up around the 40 when they went in for that touchdown. Borsa follows suit there, catching the football in the air, gets the no yardage penalty to improve the field position.
No yards, UBC number 22. 15-yard penalty, first down.
So the Ram offense with a long field to deal with here with a man down. It's Sam Varao, the fullback out of Belmont High School in Victoria. So he's close to home here, playing in the playoff game in his 3rd year.
Sure, he wouldn't mind pulling an upset on UBC.
Not at all. Has the Regina Rams, you know, the newest program in Canada West, but not a new program at all, the former junior team. Really rounding out this conference. I know you're an Ontario Conference guy. Is this the strongest conference in football?
I think top to bottom, it's definitely the most competitive. In the other conferences, you sort of have the haves and the have-nots. In Ontario, you know, Western always seems to be at the top of the pile right now. Laurier, McMaster, and Guelph are in that too. We've seen some other schools come on. In the Quebec Conference, it's Laval or Montreal essentially every year. In the AUS, honestly, the play down there has gone down through the years. St. Mary's used to be a powerhouse when Blake Nill was there, but seemingly ever since he left, Steve Samara kept that program going pretty good, but he's gone now too to Carleton, which has really hurt that conference. So overall, Canada West, I believe top to bottom, when we saw it last week with Alberta beating Calgary, the most competitive conference in the country.
Rams going up, looking for the intended receiver. There's a great knockdown on the play by LaGrange. I think it was Simon on the other end.
Peyton LaGrange with his 2nd knockdown of the day. A deep out route. Ball hangs up a little longer than Picton probably wanted it to, and that allowed LaGrange to get his mitts on the ball and knock it down.
Actually, it was shin behind the intended receiver. So 2nd and 10 for the Rams. They're going to have to really open it up here, down 14 as the 3rd quarter is almost coming to an end. Crowd coming alive here. Picton will have to roll to give himself some time. There's in and out of the hands of his intended receiver. Thomas Huber wouldn't have had the first down though. He was on his knees. He did the two mistakes. He went to his knees and he dropped the football.
Picton was on the move a little bit and threw it just a little low, which made the catch tougher for Huber. If that ball was on point, he could have turned up the field and easily had the first down. Even if he just caught it, it might have created a situation where head coach Stephen Bryce would have thought about going for it on 3rd and short. But nonetheless, the punt team on for the Rams.
Staggered returners for the UBC Thunderbirds. The main returner is Pinto. Scraper gets off a bit of a knuckleball. It's going to hit the ground, and Pinto's going to pick it up. And I'm okay with that, no yards. It's a 5-yard. It could have been a 5-yard return. So, but still, Pinto fumbled the football.
He did. I guess that's what they were looking for on the play, but
can't
no matter what, you don't want to give him any free yards, right? Zach McEachern right there. It was an easy call.
That's great field position for the UBC Thunderbird offense. So they're going to take over. They had
no yards, Regina. 5-yard penalty, first down.
A great time killer on their last series. Didn't end up in any points, but this is pretty much where the drive ended last time.
Yeah, it really is. And UBC with a chance here to get a first down or two and just be in field goal range at least.
O'Connor's tried to drive the Rams offside. He has a few times. The Rams will rush 3. There's a flag in the defensive backfield. Is it a time count violation? And then
you would have to imagine for the play to be stopped like that, likely, as you said, time count. Refs trying to figure it out on the field.
There's a heavy discussion on which way to go with this. As Nick Daly, no surprise, sticking his nose within that discussion.
Ends up no flag on the play. Discussion results in it being picked up.
And started all over again. So they restart the 20-second clock. O'Connor looks to the sidelines. I think he's just going to call timeout here. Oh, they're going to. And again, the clock starts again. It's the second time they've restarted the game clock.
Yeah, I feel like he was asking the referee if they had to run a play, but this will be the last one of the third quarter.
Still confusion all over the place as they move the ball up 4 inches.
Gave it a little white for the quarterback too. Maybe that's what he was asking for.
Giving the center, Levi Hua, some respect with the football as well. There's a play fake from Nagata. Hands up in the air, and a great play by the Regina Ram defender. And that is Lane Hall, who's been banged up and still played. He was banged up early in this football game, has played well.
He has Hall coming free off the edge. Knew he wasn't going to get to O'Connor before he cocked and threw, so gets up, knocks it down, and Morrison was open there in the flat. Looks like that's where O'Connor was trying to go. Defense makes a play on the final snap of the third quarter.
And a solid quarter for the Regina Rams as they pick up the Frankie Gray touchdown to cut the lead to 28-14 as you're watching the Hardy Cup semifinals of the Canada West Football Showcase.
Hardy Cup playoffs continue next Saturday in Calgary when a conference champion will be crowned. Watch the action live on the Canada West Football Showcase starting at 1 p.m. Back at Thunderbird Stadium in Vancouver, the UBC Thunderbirds with a 28-14 lead as we're about to start the fourth quarter, trying to make it 3 straight trips to the Hardy Cup championship game. And Alex Morrison, the receiver for UBC, with 2 touchdown catches in the first quarter. He led UBC receivers with 6 touchdowns on the year, and it was a big decision for Alex in the offseason. He was drafted by the Montreal Alouettes, could have been with their practice squad this season, but decided to come back for a senior year at UBC for a couple of reasons. One, to finish off his degree in the arts program, and the second was the opportunity to win another Vanier Cup. He said there would be nothing better than to go out and finish his U Sports career as a Vanier Cup champion, and he thought this year's team had a good chance to be able to accomplish it. They went 6-2. As I mentioned, 6 touchdowns for him. He's got 2 today and 15 minutes away from another trip to the Hardy Cup championship where the Calgary Dinos are awaiting after their win over the Alberta Golden Bears. So for the fourth quarter, back upstairs to Dan and Justin.
Thank you, Andy. And a big second down here for UBC to extend their drive. And if the Rams can get a stop, they can try to chip even more into this 14-point lead that UBC has built up. And there's O'Connor. He gets rid of the ball on the far side. Pinto in and out of the hands, and that could have been a dangerous tip drill. The Rams hit the blitz, but a good defensive stop by the University of Regina.
Yeah, O'Connor's pass to Pinto a little high, and the Rams defense were going to make that low receiver, and it was Pinto this time, catch the football and try to rally up the field for a first down, but he couldn't come down with the ball. And the Thunderbirds punting here right at the start of the fourth quarter. The Rams offense, who seemed to find a rhythm there in the third with a chance to get the football back, need to get some points on the board, hopefully try to make this a 1-score game.
As penalty markers fly on the play, and it's going to be a false start on the UBC special teams. As that pushes them back even more, that helps out the Rams field position.
UBC number 22, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
The big story at the end of the half was when Ben Cummings, their solid running back, was ejected from the game. That kind of turned the tide a little bit.
It did. It gave the Rams a safety and 2 points and changed the complexion of what UBC was going to do on offense, because Nagata is a different type of runner.
So there's Hutchins again. And again, it's a side-winding punt picked up in the air. Rams are going to try to find, there's an illegal block in the play and a nice stiff arm. And finally taken down. This is going to push the Rams way back, as on the return was Kyle Mortgat.
Colton Zashley with a sure tackle here after Michael Spencer gets stiff arm, but Zashley with a solid hit there on Mortgat to make sure he put him down on the turf.
And there is the big tight end, Blake Draper, down on the ground. The Rams have been really banged up.
During the return, illegal block. Regina number 46, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Just to give you an idea of how banged up they've been, they started this season with 18 offensive linemen in training camp. They are down to just 6, which are all dressed in this football game. That's how many they've lost over this season. It's been a large attrition rate, especially at the offensive line, and even at a number of other positions for the Rams.
As Draper was rolled up on, trying to make the block. And that's tough for the Regina Ram jumbo package, because Varau was hurt in the last series. And now Draper, their big tight end at 6'3", 225 out of Chilliwack, also played for the Valley Huskers in the BCFC. He's out, so that jumbo package that you saw a little bit in that first half, you might not see anymore.
Yeah, especially if he's out for the rest of the game. Looks like he's even having trouble getting to his own feet. Lower body, maybe left leg injury there for Draper. Get some help from a couple teammates running out to get him off the field. One of them, Cole Benkick. The other, Aiden Anderson, helping the big tight end off the field. This Rams offense coming out with Noah Picton, had a touchdown their first one of the game in that third quarter to get it within 2 scores. Really need to keep it going here in the fourth.
That is the gift to Simon, and he's seen some room as Simon has been basically the only Rams offense with 123 yards on the ground over the first 3 quarters, and that one will get him to 124.
And he's their leading receiver on the day. 3 catches for 38 yards. And for Mitchell Picton to not be at the top of the Rams receiving list in this game is a big win for the UBC defense. Bet you Noah Picton wants to find his cousin often in this fourth quarter.
Mitch Picton, 1 catch for 16 yards. Flags all over the place. Lots of room for Noah. He's going to run up the middle. He's going to try for the first down. Puts his head down. He will get first down yardage. Might have been a free play on the offside.
Picton running for the first down of the day using his legs. Some room up the middle. He knows how big this situation is, so going all out, head down, diving for the first down amongst 3 UBC defenders.
Offside. Regina number 25. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
And it's going to get pushed back on the offside penalty against the Regina Rams. So again, a penalty took out a huge gain early in this game for the Regina Rams, and that penalty takes out a first down.
A big first down run comes off the board there. Picton elusive and getting loose, but going to be all for naught as Brady Urich takes the offside penalty, puts them in a 2nd and 14 situation instead of first down out around the 30. Much different.
And it's a tough spot for the UBC Thunderbirds as their solid defensive end Connor Griffiths is being helped off the field as he is slowly walking his way to the UBC sidelines. So they're already out Ben Cummings on the offensive side of the football, and to be out Connor Griffiths, who's had a great game again, will be tough.
He has been a major factor in this game for UBC. Looks like he's holding that left shoulder pretty gingerly. So have to keep an eye if he can come back in this ball game. That would be a big loss for UBC.
2nd and 14 for the Regina Rams in the shadow of their own goalposts. They need a big first down here. They don't want to give up another safety as Picton still with time. He's going to have to roll to his right, get rid of the football, coming back, and incomplete. And again, a big play by the UBC defensive backfield. And again, it's Peyton LaGrange.
LaGrange was his 3rd knockdown of the game. Picton was waiting there for Mortgat to come open, possibly on the curl route. Didn't happen. Scrambles out to his right. Throws a catchable football there on the comeback route in scramble drill. But LaGrange, once again, showing the ball skills with yet another knockdown. And that's big here because the Rams are pushed up against their goal line. Could possibly give up another safety, but that might be tough to do considering right now you're within 2 touchdowns. Although if you give the safety up, it's going to be 2 touchdowns with 2 two-point converts.
As the Rams put 2 players on side on that far side, it hits players. It's on the ground. Do the Rams pick it up? They say they recovered the fumble. And it is Ram football. An interesting special teams play drawn up by the Regina Rams.
A little tweak here as 2 onside players for the Rams in the squib kick. So when this happens, you're kicking the football to players that don't normally handle it, right? UBC had Travell Pinto back deep, but with the squib kick, it doesn't get back that far. As number 45 shows, he's not used to having the football anywhere around him. Edgar Nelson has it bounce right off his hands, and then at that point, anyone from the Rams can jump on it. They get the ball back. Massive play there for Regina.
Pulling out all the stops with just over 12 minutes left to play here in this fourth quarter, and Noah Picton just throws that one away. He was under some heavy pressure again.
Picton took a big shot there. You could tell, literally, he just wanted to get rid of that ball, not take the sack and loss of yardage. Little guy's tough, though, standing in there, taking a shot, pops right back up after taking a lick from Joseph, excuse me. outstanding freshman.
He's seen a lot of now after a spat of Regina Ram injuries. This time it's a UBC Thunderbird player down on the field. Cold weather and stiffness starting to get to the players. That was the player on the rush. It was Isaiah Joseph who's down on the field. It'll be interesting to see. It looks like it's a little bit of a shoulder tweak.
It must have happened when he hit the turf after he knocked Picton to the turf himself. Joseph has been a beast of a first-year linebacker for this UBC defense. Really come into his own. Phenom freshman, said defensive coordinator Pat Tracy about Joseph. Has all the skills to be a great one down the road. A prep school kid, played against U.S. competition, can cover running backs out of the backfield and receivers, and can also come up in the run game and, as we saw there, rush the passer too.
So that left side of the interior defense banged up. Connor Griffiths was out. Now Isaiah Joseph is on the bench. Looks like nursing a shoulder injury. 2nd and 10 for the Rams. Rams in traffic, flag is down, intercepted. This looks like it's going back to the house for the UBC Thunderbirds. Touchdown, Michael Spencer. There's a flag on the play. And it looks like it's going against the Regina Rams.
There was a Rams receiver that was taken right out of this play. There were a lot of bodies in the area. Huber took some contact while that ball was in the air, and I bet you that's where the illegal contact or pass interference penalty is going to be called.
Yeah, it's pass interference against the UBC Thunderbirds.
That contact allowed Spencer to step in front of that pass. Dangerous throw, nonetheless, though, from Picton, but he gets bailed out on this upcoming pass interference call.
Forward pass interference, UBC number 26. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
So busy play for Spencer. Pass interference call, picks it off, takes it back to the house, and at the end of the day, the Rams are going to be the benefactors of that.
And it's a tough spot for the Rams as Kyle Mortgat trying to look for that tackle of Spencer. One of the big receivers for the Regina Rams. He's down on the field. He of the 37 catches for 408 yards this season.
Hops up, walking off the field, looks like he'll be all right. You need him back in the game. Looks like maybe just a cramp for 86.
I know I'm not cramping. I was too cold to cramp. As we are in the wonderful open air here at Dave Sidhu Field at Thunderbird Stadium in Vancouver. An interesting drive as a first down has been helped by the Regina Ram, forcing a fumble on their punt, and then a first down here on a pass interference. And there's the gift to Simon. That's a little bit of a better way to get a first down. Nice hit on the play. He was looking for first down yardage, but that was snuffed out in a hurry by the UBC Thunderbirds.
It's O'Day on the weak side. Simon bouncing it out for a nice gain on first down before he gets cut down. 2nd and 2 for Noah Picton in the offense. Like to see him take a shot here.
He hasn't looked for Mitch Picton much in a looping snap, and that he had to get rid of in a hurry. That was a few times that has happened in this football game for the Regina Rams.
And Picton staying on the field here as Simon loses a yard on the play. As you said, Dan, that snap had a little loop to it, took long to get to Picton, and that caused the loss of 1. 3rd and 3 here. Big down for the Rams.
Football, especially on offense, is so much about timing, whereas on defense is about angles. And that one with a snap like that disrupts the timing. There's a rough snap again, big blitz, quick pitch and catch, and a first down for the Regina Rams. That is Shinbine with the catch.
Picton catch, throw, quick release that he's known for, and Shinbine runs the hook route, snags it with his hands, sure-handed on 3rd down to move the chains. The Rams offense getting in gear here.
A little bit of a hurry-up formation now for the Rams. There's a give to Simon. He finds nothing as it's well stretched out by that Thunderbird defense, swarming around Simon and knocking him for a loss. And there's a flag on Simon for the push. So that's going to push things back even more for the Rams.
You really cannot afford to be taking those kind of penalties if indeed it is against the Regina Rams. Head coach Stephen Bryce has talked about this as an issue all season long with the Rams. Simon clearly frustrated.
Oh, it's against UBC. Nice.
After the play, and maybe it was a retaliation type of penalty. 56, hold on.
At the end of the play, objectionable conduct, UBC number 18. It's a 10-yard penalty, second down.
I thought I saw Simon push somebody, but it was Katsantonis. As the Rams being really helped by the UBC Thunderbirds.
You can see it clear as day here once again. Katsantonis in there talking to Simon after the play, letting him hear about the tackle and the loss on the down. But that penalty is going to hurt as these issues crop up once again for UBC and keep Regina in this game.
So it brings up second and short. There's the gift to Simon. He'll cut make a few men miss. He has open space, and that is Atlee Simon. Will he get touched? Is it a touchdown? Rams! Big play by a big-time running back.
So Simon gets the last laugh here on Katsantonis. After the objectionable conduct penalty makes it second and short, they give it to the dynamic running back. Cut back, juke step to the house, just like that. The Rams back in it. That is a dynamic, explosive run from number 36. Wow.
Rams onto the convert to cut this to a 7-point game.
All of a sudden tense on that UBC sideline, favored in this game, won by a large margin just a week ago. But Simon making Katsantonis pay for that penalty, and the Regina Rams within one score in this game.
If I'm head coach Blake Nill, I would be heated, because when you're going to look at that game film, it's going to be all on them because they allow that to happen. With more on that touchdown, let's head down to field level and Andy Neal.
All right, thanks very much, Atlee Simon with the touchdown run, a long one. What happened to allow you to get down the middle of the field?
Again, we're just grinding, we're not giving up. Our line's playing well. Again, huge score. Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden, it's a one-score game for Regina to be able to tie this one. How much life now is back on the sidelines now that this game is so close?
Absolutely. It just takes one play to turn things around for us. We're right back into this game. Our defense is going to go get a stop for us now.
Considering what the deficit was, how much belief was in the dressing room coming out for the second half?
We knew we weren't out of it. We know how high-powered our offense is, and we knew our defense was playing really well at the end of that first half. So we came out of the locker room with high confidence and motivation, so we're good.
Congrats on the TD.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys?
Atlee Simon, huge run for the score. He has been their offensive MVP here in the second half of the season.
Oh, by a long shot. And the offensive MVP in the game today has well over 100 yards, might even be pushing the 200-yard mark, and is their leading receiver on the day as well. That touchdown run has the Rams right back into this game, and we have a ball game.
Atlee Simon, 19 carries for 177 yards. Big drive here for the Thunderbirds. There's Nagata, and that's a first down for the UBC Thunderbirds. As Nagata even fumbled the football, there's been some questionable carries here.
Nagata slashing right down the middle. Makes a tackler miss there, Danny Nesbitt. Normally sure tackler, but Nagata making a miss.
As they're going to bring on the sticks after a big first down carry for the second-year running back who played with the BCFC's Okanagan Sun.
And for as hot as this UBC offense was in the first half, and we saw the 3 touchdown strikes from Michael O'Connor, 2 to Morrison, 1 to Pinto, they have gone fairly silent here in the second half. The only points they have came off a safety. So this Thunderbirds offense really needs to get it going here to have a shot to make sure that the Rams don't come back in this game.
It was a first down carry for Nagata. And he will be in the hip pocket of Michael O'Connor. Rams have been able to get to O'Connor a few times. There's a play fake to Nagata. quick pitch catch. Pinto is dragged to the ground. He'll pick up about 2 or 3 on some nice tackling by the Rams. Well, not nice tackling, but sure-handed tackling.
Certainly didn't let Pinto get away there to pick up any extra yardage or the first down, limit the gain to about 3 yards. And once again, the Thunderbirds, this has been the issue for them in the second half. They've been in a lot of second and long situations, and that has a lot to do with Ben Cummings being out of this ballgame.
There's Nagata to the right of O'Connor. 4 receivers to the wide side for the veteran quarterback with all kinds of time. He'll have his man, and he's wide open and just in and out of the hands. Oh my! What an opportunity for the UBC Thunderbirds.
What a throw by Michael O'Connor right here. This ball has got to be caught. He's patient in the pocket, once again delivers it perfectly
Trey Kellogg
over the top, and Trey Kellogg has to have that grab. He's in behind coverage. A beautiful touch throw from O'Connor, but it is not hauled in, so the Thunderbirds are going to be punting the football again. You know they got to be smarting after that drop.
It's going to be Borsa on the return. He's going to let it hit the ground again. He's done that a few times today. And the Rams lose about 15 yards on that return because of that.
Another short punt, but Borsa doesn't get up underneath it.
We have an officials timeout, promotional timeout.
And in front of the Hardy Cup semifinals, the Canada West announced their All-Stars. We have 10 of them on the field here today, as it was a strong effort by both of these teams, but you see a couple of unanimous decisions. That's Ed Elnicki with the now the all-time leading rusher in Canada West football history.
What a season he had for the Alberta Golden Bears. One of the main reasons why they were able to get in the playoffs for the first time in a long time. And a number on the field offensively for the Rams, obviously Noah Picton and Atlee Simon as well. Mitchell Picton probably should have been an all-star in his own right. UBC had their fair share on defense too. Connor Griffiths, who we saw leave this game, hopefully he comes back for the Thunderbirds, and Stavros Katsantanis, a dynamic player in the back end. Malcolm Lee and Will Maxwell there too, as the Thunderbirds have 3 in the secondary, and Travell Pinto, a double all-star at returner. Jamal Lyles back with the Bisons this season, gets an all-star as well as a kick returner. A dynamic player there for the Bisons to get back.
And there you see Connor Griffiths had himself a fantastic game last week. Another great game again this week for the UBC Thunderbirds.
And there he is back out on the field. Key athlete for that Thunderbirds defense. So good to see him healthy.
6'4", 290, the Langley Stampeders. As the Rams now with 7:41 left here in the fourth quarter, put themselves down in a big hole in that first part of the first half.
26-7 at halftime, but they've gotten 2 scores on the board, 1 in the third and 1 here on the last drive in the fourth quarter. The big Atlee Simon touchdown run to get themselves within a major of tying this one up.
And they will start at their 26-yard line. Atlee Simon, 177 yards along the ground, including the last touchdown. And they'll give the ball to Simon. Simon will find a seam and fall forward for about a gain of 7. He's on track for 200 yards on the ground today.
Simon has really settled in here in this second half, especially ripping off a big touchdown run. They've been feeding him the rock.
Second and very manageable for this Regina Ram offense. 3 men in motion. They just give Simon the ball again, and Simon just says, I'll pick up the first down, and a whole lot more. He just keeps plowing forward. That's almost a gain of 10 yards.
There he is, bouncing off the edge and showing you the toughness too. Some of that leg drive. He's got a well-developed lower body, and he's able to push the pile there for some extra yardage on the second down carry that he turns into a first down for the Rams, carrying 2 and then 3 defenders for some extra yardage.
Simon with back-to-back runs. So they'll just give it to him again. That was a spin off a tackle, and it was Katsantonis in on the tackle, and he'll gain about 3 or 4. And again, a very awkward snap too.
Yeah, they seem to be having trouble with that, right? They had it earlier on a Noah Picton interception that he threw down the middle that he couldn't quite catch, and a couple of these have sort of popped up in the air a little higher, which is key, as you mentioned earlier, Dan. It throws the timing off of the entire offensive play.
2nd and 5, UBC sends a little bit of a blitz. They go over the middle. Nice catch for the Regina Rams and keeps plowing ahead. That's Thomas Huber making up for a drop football in that third quarter.
Picton finding some room now with some of the damage Simon has done in the rushing game. Little hook route to Huber for a first down. Ball right on target between the 1 and the 2.
So the Rams have put together a few first downs here on the drive. They got a touchdown on their last drive. They'll give to Simon. He is patient. He'll put his head down and pick up 4 or 5 again. And there's what you said, just fall forward for 5.
Seems to be what he's done, especially here in this second half. And they've had more and more success running on first down as this game has gone along. Earlier, those rushes on first down were for 1 and 2. In the second half, they've been for 4, 5, or 6 or longer. So that run game really grinding away and grinding down the UBC front.
2nd and 5, another tough snap that Picton has to pick up. Now he has to scramble. He has a man on his back. He's going to pick up the first down and get out of bounds. The veteran quarterback making a veteran play.
Picton surveying the field, didn't see anyone breaking open where he wanted to rip it and let it loose, so comes to the backside as it was sealed off by the right tackle there to let him loose and be able to pick up the first down. As Picton patient in the pocket, didn't force it, didn't scramble too early, but scrambled when he needed to get the first down.
He had 226 yards on the ground this season. Very careful, 226. It's Urich nursing an injury. Everybody's banged up at this time of the year. This is game 9 for both of these teams. It's U Sports and Canada West football season incredibly short.
Very short. A lot of games coming at you quick. Physical conference as well. That's one thing I've definitely noticed coming out here and having the possibility to do some of these games is that every game is a battle, man. It's very physical football.
So another first down for the Regina Rams, putting together a nifty little drive as we're hitting the 5-minute mark here of the fourth quarter. Just outside the 30-yard line. The Rams have done this primarily running the football. This time they play fake. Picton with time. He's going to have to escape traffic. He does, and he falls to the ground. It's a sack for the Thunderbirds. Elliott Graham takes down Picton.
The Rams go play action on first down after the success they were having on first down in this second half. Looked like he was looking to the weak side there down the middle. There was a post route going, but it was double coverage, and he came off it a little too late, and by that time, he had pressure in his face and goes down for the sack.
2nd and 20. Big sack, and that's the first sack of the season for the first-year middle linebacker out of Hamilton. That's Elliott Graham at 6'3", 218. Coach Neal loves his big, tall, rangy linebackers. Here's Picton. He's going to have to scramble. He's going to take off. I think he was over the line of scrimmage, but that's close to a first down. Yep, he was over the line of scrimmage.
Well, this is going to be close, though, right? Your whole body has to be over. We need that side view angle to see. I'm sure the officials will have another discussion about it.
He sure looked like he was. He pointed at both sides. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be against Picton.
This is tough. The line of scrimmage is at about the 43-yard line. Picton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's at the 42. It looked like his entire body was indeed all the way over the line of scrimmage. It seemed like he had made the decision to run and then saw his receiver along the sideline break open at the last second.
Pass. Regina number 4 was over the line of scrimmage. 10-yard penalty, second down.
That's a good penalty to take because the Rams got it almost the full first down. So now it's going to be We saw this for the Thunderbirds at the end of the first half. Now it's going to be 2nd and 30.
Not quite 2nd and 43 or 3rd and 43, but...
How many 2nd and 30 plays do you have in the playbook?
I don't think you draw too many of those up.
Nope. And I would say 6 would be your main target.
What they do like to do is get picked in on the corner route.
So there's Noah Picton over the middle. Nice little pickup, as that is Shinbine. He picks up about 12, so it's going to be 3rd and 18, and you know the Rams are going to go for it. No, they're going to punt the football here.
Well, I was going to say, right, you're down just 1 score, so they get a bit of yardage here with the completion to Shinbine, and there's still lots of time, right? Canadian football, about 3:22 left on the clock. You can play the field position game. If you're the Rams here, try to pin UBC deep, get the football back knowing that you still only need a touchdown to tie this game, so it's not completely 3-down territory, especially when it's 3rd and 20. In a situation like that, probably prudent to punt the football.
Will Maxwell in his end zone, expecting Scraper to kill one, and Scraper's going to try to corner kick this, and it goes out of bounds at about... it goes out of bounds at the 16-yard line, so he puts it inside the 20. I know Scraper will probably want it to touch the pylon, but still, that's a long field to deal with.
It really is, and if your defense can go 2 and out, you hope to get the ball back in a similar situation, maybe around midfield. Clutch series here for both sides. The Thunderbirds offense has done not much here in the second half, and the Rams defense has really stiffened up. They need a timely 2 and out right here, right now.
But with that man at the helm, Michael O'Connor, it's going to be very difficult. He has Nagata to his right. Under 3 minutes left. That's the give to Nagata. Nagata is stood up after a gain of about 3 or 4. Nice, decent pickup by number 20 for the Thunderbirds.
They've gone to Nagata and really haven't thought twice about it as the backup running back in the game for Ben Cummings, who was ejected at the end of the first half. Gets about 3 or 4 there. 2nd and medium to long situation for O'Connor, who has played actually pretty well in this second half, but has been the victim of some drops by his receivers.
Big second down here. UBC can continue the drive and continue to kill the clock with a first down. And for the Rams, they can force the UBC Thunderbirds to punt and get the ball back. O'Connor with time. He'll throw to the wide side, and it is in and out of the hands as that ball just floated in the air forever as he was looking for Nick Richard on the play, and Richard is hurt after he got undercut on it.
Yeah, O'Connor patient, going through his reads, just overthrows his receiver there.
Corey Green with the stick.
On the sideline. Nick Richard going up and taking a lick for doing so, and he's still down on the turf.
Corey Green, who was questionable for this game, wasn't on the original depth chart, but the veteran defensive back for the University of Regina Rams is in the game. He made that stick. 2 returners for the Rams.
And the situation played out exactly as the Rams wanted to. They punted on 3rd and 20. Decent punt, not the greatest coffin corner, but they go 2 and out here, force UBC to punt them the ball right back.
Mort, Gatton, Borsa. Borsa cannot let this touch the turf this time. He doesn't. He was going to look for the big outside run, but he just runs into some fantastic coverage, and we have a flag on the play, and it looks like it's going to be against the Regina Rams. Looks like UBC drew that one. Looks like Taylor Mayer is going to get dinged for this penalty. It's rough play against the Rams and rough play against UBC, so no harm, no foul on either side of the football.
Unnecessary roughness, UBC 27. Unnecessary roughness, Regina. Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
The Rams coaches are pointing at the clock, and here we see what this UBC defense has done to Noah Picton throughout the day, really harassing the reigning Heck Crichton Trophy winner, not letting him get outside the pocket and do much damage, really knocking him around. But credit Picton, he's stood in there, taking a beating, but still has the opportunity here with around 2 minutes left in this ball game to lead his team on a touchdown drive that would tie this football game. Even though he's having an off day, he's found a way. And yes, Atlee Simon has done most of the work in the ground game.
Timekeeper, please reset the clock to 2:10. 2:10.
A full almost 30 seconds to be put back on the clock here.
Timekeeper, reset the clock to 2:10. 2 minutes, 10 seconds, please.
It's that home field timer trying to...
I think last time he asked in the first half, he asked for Mr. Timekeeper. This time he asked for just Timekeeper, thus the delay. So here we go, folks. You looked for a good game. You got a good game here in the Hardy Cup semifinals. Rams need a touchdown to tie. Simon has a score here in this second half to cut it to 7, and he gets 5 and a flag on the play.
And this looks like, again, it's going to be a rough play after the whistle. Question is, who's it on?
Oh, boy.
Simon once again picking his way through the middle. Solid gain on first down, 4 or 5 yards, and then the extracurricular
I think
activity.
that's going against the Rams this time.
After the play, you cannot have that in this situation if you're Regina. Stephen Bryce has talked about it, the head coach for the Rams. It's been an issue for them all season long. They've gotten to the point where they almost had to cut players over it because they've had these discipline issues.
At the end of the play, unnecessary roughness, Regina number 64. 15-yard penalty, second down. Second down.
Mikel Vecchio with the unnecessary roughness, and you can't go backwards like that if you're the Regina Rams.
And the key there is that it came after the play, so it's going to be second down in a very long situation for the Rams.
Vecchio is flip-flop between center and guard, and there's a rough snap to Picton. He's going to have to pick up a ton of yards. He has a man wide open. It comes out, oh, and it's knocked down on the play, and it's pass interference coming up as Peyton LaGrange is going to get called for PI. All kinds of craziness on one play.
Oh, Picton had his man open, streaking down the sideline. Looked like it was
That's a great play.
Huber there.
That's a great
forward, pass interference. Defense, number 26. It's a 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Well, it's number 16 on the play. That's a bit of an iffy call.
That
UBC is not going to like that when they review the film, as LaGrange did not make contact with Huber until the ball had actually hit Huber on the arm, but Regina benefits.
There's Simon just hammering ahead as things are still very, very chippy between the trenches here. As we take a look at this penalty again.
And Picton had Huber streaking down the sidelines. This ball hung up, but LaGrange getting back there and appeared to make a decent play on the ball, but he gets called for pass interference, a big one.
There's Simon, quick little stutter step. He'll pick up the first down. We're under 2 minutes left here in Vancouver. A spot in the Hardy Cup finals on the line and a trip to Calgary here to the winner of this football game. Never thought we would get to this position considering how things played out in that first half.
26-7, UBC was in control the whole way, but Thunderbirds only 2 points in this second half. Regina, a couple touchdowns, and here we have a one-score game under 1:40 to go. Rams driving.
Blitz, Picton under pressure, and he's going to get buried on the play, and a big sack, and it's Connor Griffiths in on the play.
There's a few Thunderbirds there as well in that pileup, as Picton really did not have much time there. Goes down amongst a heap of Thunderbirds as the pressure getting home for UBC.
Timeout, Regina.
Rams not doing themselves any favors here as they've moved back just as much as they've moved forward in this drive. Penalties and sacks. Noah Picton was sacked the most in the Canada West Football Conference.
Well, that stat might be a little misleading because as much scrambling as he does, so maybe not as much on the offensive line, but they take a timeout here, talk this situation over. At least you know here you're down 7, so you're in 3-down territory as it is, but 2nd and 15 after the sack. Need to get a little bit of this and make it a 3rd and manageable situation.
They've ridden the legs of Atlee Simon here in this second half. There's Picton, and he's in under pressure again, and he's sacked. A well-timed blitz by the UBC defense.
The Thunderbirds decide to dial it up. Defensive coordinator Pat Tracy overloading the strong side of the field there and getting a defender free to Picton in his face right away was number 52, Ben Laddick, making Picton step up into the pocket, and he slips down. 3rd and long situation. Rams season just might be on the line right here.
Yeah, this will be it for the Regina Rams. 3rd and 18. UBC sends 3. Picton has to scramble. He's going to go deep. He has a man looking up, and is caught. It's incomplete. Shinbine, the intended receiver, and a big stop by the UBC defense.
Well, Picton looking around, and he had some pressure come in his face and looked for the best matchup. One-on-one there. Shinbine with the UBC defensive back, number 29, O'Day, on the play, and he does a good job with the football in the air to stay poised and knock it down and force the turnover on downs to give the ball back to UBC.
1 first down, and it's done because the Rams have used both of their timeouts here in this second half. O'Connor with Nagata to his left. A first down, and it's a berth in the finals for UBC, and there's Nagata picking up 4 or 5.
Timeout. Regina.
I guess they had 1 left. I thought they used both of them, but that one came in the first half. So the Rams are able to stop with the clock, but a first down will pretty much end this.
They likely would. A massive 2nd down play here for both sides as they're looking to get to the Hardy Cup to play against Calgary.
That was a messy offensive drive by that Regina Ram offense.
Yeah, it really was. It was 1 step forward and 2 steps back. It seemed like every play. And what seemed to be the difference there was the Thunderbirds dialing up the pressure. They hadn't really done that much in the second half, but Pat Tracy goes to his pressure package and gets Picton off his spot early on a lot of those passing situations in that drive, which ultimately led to the Rams turning it over on downs.
Michael O'Connor looking to lead his UBC Thunderbirds back to the Hardy Cup finals. If he can get a first down here, he can almost assure that. Nagata this time to his right. He will give to Nagata. Nagata comes down, and it'll be just short of the first down, so it's going to be a punting situation for the UBC Thunderbirds, and their coverage has been scintillating so far in this game.
But for the Rams, it's not over quite yet. 49 seconds left on the clock. Punting situation. Picton's going to have 1 last shot for Regina.
Mort Gatt was the other returner.
Yeah, you wonder, it looks like the Rams here are going to change this up.
Yeah, they're going to send the house. Borsa's the lone setback now. They're going to send the house, and that was easily picked up by the UBC Thunderbirds. There's Borsa in under it. All he has is blue jerseys, and he'll just run out of bounds smartly as UBC was able to kill almost half that clock. It's down to 22 seconds and 85 yards of field for the Rams here to tie the football game.
Not much time to go and a lot of yards to get in that time for the Rams to get in any kind of position here for a possible even Hail Mary throw to the end zone. Let's see what the reigning Heck Crichton winner has.
The Rams have played well in this second half. Looping snap, Picton with time. He'll go in over the middle. It's first down yardage. Huber has been the go-to man so far in this second half. He has 3 catches here.
He has been catch for a first down as the Rams go into hurry up. 16 seconds left, maybe 3 plays left here for the Rams. Try to get to the end zone. Got to snap it quick.
They get the snap off. Picton quickly. He hits his man and goes quickly out of bounds. Yes, he was. And again, this time it was Shinbine with the catch, and the Rams moving the sticks up, but only 6 seconds left. So this should be it for the Regina Rams here. First down at their own 57 and a timeout called by UBC.
Picton on the out route to Shinbine, and it's a savvy timeout from Blake Nill. Seeing what the Rams were lining up in. 6 seconds left around midfield here. You would imagine this is probably the last play of the game for the Rams. Need to set up some type of Hail Mary play here. Get the ball near the end zone, maybe hope for a pass interference
We
call.
have a timeout, UBC. Timeout, UBC.
There's also an injured player on the field. That was Atlee Simon, who had 222 yards on the ground in this game.
He might be a guy you want out on the field. He's their leading receiver as well in this game. Athletic, has shown he can go up and get the football. So dynamic guy that's on the sideline for this final play that's going to be likely some sort of a Hail Mary.
As the water guy had to hustle off the field as the Rams line up. 3-man super deep here for the UBC Thunderbirds. They'll just send 3. Big, high looping pass, and it's knocked down, and there it is. They're looking for a flag on the play as that is a very angry receiver right there, and that was Mitch Picton on the other end of it as he is screaming at the official looking for a penalty as the whole Ram sideline is looking at him.
Well, he might have a case, but you know, Mitch Picton clearly at the end of his career, right? A 5th-year guy, was drafted by the Riders, doesn't want to go out in any way possible. And there was a lot of battling on this play, so Picton might just have a case. He was pulled down by the defensive back there on the play, so certainly has a case there as he had no shot to make a play on that football as the UBC defender pulled him to the turf. It looked like it was James Enns who pulled him down, or Kyle Miller, and you can definitely sense the frustration there from Picton.
As that's not the way he wanted to end his Canada West career, as they're going to shake hands here, and an incredible end to a game, to a great game.
Really, that second half, we got a ball game about all you could ask for. A 1-score game came down to the end with the reigning Heck Crichton winner driving his team on 2 separate occasions to try to tie it up, with the UBC defense ranked #1 in the Canada West Conference for a reason in the regular season, showing us why with a couple clutch plays to seal this win up for UBC and send them to the Hardy Cup.
As the UBC Thunderbirds knock off the University of Regina Rams 28-21 here in Vancouver. We'll finish things off on the other side of the break here on the Canada West Football Showcase.
People say that to be successful in university, you must work hard. This is true. But to be successful in life, you'll need to know more than what's written in a textbook. You'll need to know how to adapt and to problem solve. You'll need to know how to work with all kinds of people, how to listen, and how to be a team player. To be truly successful in life, to find happiness, you need to find balance.
The Hardy Cup playoffs continue next Saturday in Calgary when a conference champion will be crowned. Watch the action live on the Canada West Football Showcase starting at 1 p.m.
Back here in Vancouver, one last thought before we head downstairs.
Just a fight in the Regina Rams. great ball game, but UBC Calgary should be a good one next week.
All right, head downstairs to Andy and the start of the game on defense.
With Stavros Katsantonis, we're talking about the snow before the game. Finally, it ended by the time game came to a close. But what did you think of this one that ended up being a much closer game than it was at the half?
We know their offense is a great offense. I mean, they got a head Creighton quarterback and some returning All-Canadians on their team. And we just knew that they were going to come back, that there'd be a chance because they're going to fight. And it's playoff football, right? No one wants to go home. So, I mean, our game plan coming in this was just phenomenal by Coach Tracy. And we played everything to a T, and I'm glad we came out with the W.
What was the key, especially in that first half when they really had a tough time getting points on the board?
Right. I mean, the key was just cover our guys, everyone do their jobs and their assignments, and they won't get anything. So, I mean, I'm just incredibly proud of our linebackers, our D-line, I mean, our coverage guys, everything. When everything works as a unison, things just work out great. So I'm just proud.
All you know are trips to Hardy Cup championship games since year one in 2015 when you won the Vanier Cup. And now that you're one of the veterans of the group, how much are you enjoying the leadership side of it?
It's awesome. I can't explain it. It's just crazy to think that how far I've come, and it's amazing. 3 Hardy Cups in a row. I mean, I want to get another Vanier. That's my plan. And I'm an experienced playoff football player, so I mean, I just got to go out there and win the game.
What do you think about the young group that you have playing around you?
They're just awesome. I mean, they remind me of myself when I was first here. Just hard-nosed, just do their jobs and play 100%. I mean, it's just amazing that they could get out there and play on the field with so many of them and just be successful. I'm proud of our defense and our offense and all around special teams. We're just working great.
So once again, another date with the Calgary Dinos at McMahon Stadium. They beat Alberta today. What do you think of that matchup for the 3rd year in a row?
We got some retribution coming for them for this Hardy Cup. I mean, they beat us last year. They beat us this previous game on this season. So I mean, it's nothing but going out there, getting our revenge, and getting the win.
Well, anybody you want to say hi to back home?
Just my family that's watching back home, my brothers, my sister, my girlfriend if she's watching right now this late. But thank you to everyone that supports me.
Down in California, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Stavros Katsantonis from the UBC Thunderbirds, winners today over the Regina Rams. We'll go to break and close things out here on the Canada West Football Showcase from Vancouver.
People say that to be successful in university, you must work hard. This is true. But to be successful in life, you'll need to know more than what's written in a textbook. You'll need to know how to adapt and to problem solve. You'll need to know how to work with all kinds of people, how to listen, and how to be a team player. To be truly successful in life, to find happiness, you need to find balance.
The Hardy Cup playoffs continue next Saturday in Calgary when a conference champion will be crowned. Watch the action live on the Canada West Football Showcase starting at 1 p.m. Well, the second straight week that the Regina Rams traveled to Vancouver to face off with the UBC Thunderbirds under some snow when the game started. And for much of the first half, it was UBC by 19 at the half, but Regina was able to cut into it in the second half, but still the Thunderbirds holding on for a 28-21 decision. And for the 3rd year in a row, they will square off with the Calgary Dinos in the 81st Hardy Cup Championship that comes your way next week from McMahon Stadium starting at 1 o'clock Mountain Time, noon Pacific. Hope you can join us on the Canada West Football Showcase. For Dan Plaster, Justin Duncan, and the rest of the crew, I'm Andy Neal. So long from Vancouver. We'll talk again next week in Calgary.